Alrighty, welcome back to our latest live stream. Good morning, everybody. This stream's not going to be nearly as long as our Hurricane Helene coverages, but we do have some stuff to talk about this morning with tornado warnings back over in North Carolina and Virginia, and we're also going to be talking about what has happened with Helene over the last 12 to 24 hours, kind of, give you a rundown of what's been happening overnight and also into the morning hours, because we've had quite a bit of flooding and damage that's happened, but we're going to get to that here in a few minutes. I do want to jump first into the tornado warnings that we do have currently across North Carolina. We are going to begin south to north, beginning with the furthest southern tornado warning, which is currently in place near Garland, White Lake, just south of Clinton in North Carolina. This is our strongest area of rotation that we've seen so far. Strong velocities continuing to move to the north. Very possible that we do get a tornado as that moves in the direction of Clinton and Roseboro. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately away from windows and on the lowest floor possible as that continues to move to the north. And again, we have 6 tornado warnings. We are expecting a very active morning into the early afternoon in terms of tornado warnings, just due to the fact we have a lot of very curved photographs, lots of wind shear, and then in addition to that, we just have a very favorable outer band here that's continuing to move through much of North Carolina and Virginia. So we are expecting several tornadoes throughout the next few hours until probably about 2 to 3 o'clock until it winds down. For the time being, we also have some rotation on the southwest side of the Raleigh metro area near Holly Springs and also near Fuquay Varina, if that's how you say that, going to the north. Again, that rotation has not been nearly as strong. It's a little bit broader, but that is heading in the direction of Holly Springs, and then eventually going to be going towards Apex, and then eventually towards Cary, North Carolina. We also have some rotation near Durham in North Carolina. This storm has not been rotating nearly as much over the last few minutes, just a broad area of circulation. I think the biggest thing with today when it comes to this tornado threat is that if any storms can remain a bit more discreet, those are going to be the ones that are much more favorable for a tornado risk here across North Carolina. And then back up here in Virginia, we also have a tornado warning for Martinsville. That rotation is going to be approaching 220 and eventually going towards Henry in Philpott. So if you are in this warning, also make sure that you are in your safe place. We also have a tornado warning back over in northern North Carolina, just southeast of Danville. This rotation's also been a bit broader, but it is a low top storm that is continuing to move to the north and northwest. This is near Yanceyville, which Yanceyville has been under a ton of tornado warnings over the last 24 hours. So that's another area that is under a tornado warning. Now, one of the craziest things that we've seen out of Helene is the amount of flash flooding, and we're going to talk a lot about this over the next few minutes probably, but look at all the flash flood emergencies that we have in place. All these dashed red and green boxes that you see on your screen here, these are all flash flood emergencies that are currently in place for areas like Virginia, like North Carolina, and even back near Atlanta. We actually have had flash flood emergencies. Now, the good news is that the rain has really stopped for most of these areas like Atlanta, and it's also started to wind down quite a bit here in the higher elevations. But even then, it is absolutely insane how many different flash flood emergencies we have right now here across these areas. We have a live camera. You'll see it on the right side of your screen. But we do have a live camera. This is the Resorts Cam's camera back over in Bryson City, North Carolina. And again, it's been pretty significant. The creeks have been, starting to overflow for how much rain that we've seen. And you can see how high the water is right now. It has gotten very high in this area. I wish I had a comparison photo to show you what it looked like yesterday. But this creek has just gotten, completely filled essentially with tons of rainfall over the last 12 to 24 hours. And again, this is just not a sight that you want to see here, especially in the higher elevations where we have the potential for water going down, potentially causing mudslides and stuff like that. So again, just crazy stuff here, but yeah, again, just unbelievable. We do have updates. Durham and Bladen counties, North Carolina's for tornado warnings. Those warnings are still radar indicated, so that's the latest update there. Thank you, Pup, for becoming a 1-month member. Yeah, it's pretty crazy out there. It has been a crazy last 24 hours. The good news is that, again, a lot of what we're going to see out of Tropical Storm Helene, which is a tropical storm now, is starting to wind down. At least we are down to a middle grade tropical storm as it continues to move inland. I'll go ahead and show you guys on the map here where we're at in terms of this system. This is the infrared imagery. We'll pull that up and let's go to continental United States. So this is what it looks like right now as Helene continues to move inland. And again, the center is kind of over here in Tennessee and Kentucky. A lot of rain going to continue to fall on the north and east side of this. And again, it's just getting stretched out. All that cloud cover literally stretching out anywhere from New York all the way back through Missouri. We are going to continue to see some, wind, obviously, some strong wind gusts across Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and even back through Arkansas and Kentucky throughout the rest of this morning into the afternoon. Worst of the wind is most likely happening in northern sections of Kentucky right now. We've probably had some power outages too. I'm not sure if this radar Omega cyclone port is out because of the possible wind or power outages, but if that's the case, then it would make sense with how much wind that we've been seeing. So definitely something to keep in mind there. We also have some other live cameras across the board here. This is one of the cameras back over in some of the higher elevations of northeastern Georgia. It is still very moist there. Lots of rain still, or not a lot of rain, but at least a little bit of rain still continuing to fall up in that area. This is a live view also back over in Charlotte, North Carolina, which this is actually at the Panthers Stadium, the football team that's not been doing too hot this season. Overall, again, it's starting to clear out here. We're not really talking about much more rain. Clouds are moving pretty fast. It is still pretty windy here as the remnants of what is left of Helene, at least, continue to move inland across the United States. We are back down to 5, or we're still at 6 tornado warnings. One of them still currently includes 2. Or two of the warnings include one of these storms. This is the one that we're talking about near Clinton. Let's go back to the radar site here. We still have a strong couplet of rotation near Garland moving northeast. So again, if you're in Clinton, North Carolina, make sure that you are continuing to stay in your safe place. And then further off to the north, just south of Cary, we still have a tornado warning up here as well. Broad area of circulation that will be moving in the direction of Cary. I'm not seeing any sort of debris signature as of right now. Rotation's still pretty broad in my opinion. And then back over near Durham, North Carolina, we still have a broad area of circulation here as well. I would expect that tornado warning to probably expire here in 6 minutes. I don't think that one's going to continue. And then we still have broad circulation near Yanceyville moving to the north in North Carolina. And then again, we still have our tornado warning north of Martinsville that is currently going to be moving towards Rocky Mount. That's also broad circulation. And so again, tornado warning so far, nothing confirmed yet, but we'll continue to keep a close eye on all this activity. Let's go back over to the National Hurricane Center track for the rest of today. So this is their latest cone as Tropical Storm Helene continues to move inland. It is down to a very low-end tropical storm. It's about to become a post-tropical cyclone, but right now it is a tropical storm. Maximum sustained winds now down to 45 miles per hour. It was 60 in the previous update, so they have downgraded it further to 45 miles per hour. But look how large this wind field still is. That is where all the tropical storm force winds do continue across parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. It is still quite the large wind field across these states. It is going to be a post-tropical cyclone and eventually just become a tropical depression by tomorrow, but yeah, pretty crazy that this wind field is still that large, especially for this being so far inland. It is all the way up right now in, North Carolina. It is very far to the north, so crazy stuff there. There is still a high risk for excessive rainfall back over in the higher elevations of North Carolina. We also have that moderate risk there for excessive rainfall from Georgia back into Virginia. There's also one back over just west of Nashville. So those are going to continue here over the next little while. We're going to continue to see several inches of rainfall for the next several hours. We will have, I think, Storm Intermedia live storm chasing in 30 minutes or so. I could be wrong if he changed that number, but if he's live in 30 minutes or so, okay, it might be 30 minutes unless he's doing something else. He might not actually go live, but if he's going around and doing damage, we'll have him up on the stream later. There's a possibility, I'm not sure, but yeah, we should have him if he is chasing. I'm not sure if he is though. All right. Again, if you are just tuning in, haven't already heard, again, we got 4 tornado warnings now. The one south of Cary just got canceled. Again, flash flood emergencies ongoing in all of this area. Again, flash flood emergencies are not very common, but that entire area of dashed green and black boxes are all flash flood emergencies, and we still have 2 ongoing near Atlanta. And a lot of power outages, by the way. This is another aftermath thing that happened, is power outages. Look at all the red states right now in terms of power outages. This all means that at least 100,000 people are without power in those states. According to poweroutage.us, Florida has a little over 1 million without power still, most of them in the Big Bend. That is where upwards of widespread damaging winds will be possible back up here. Or sorry, widespread power outages are ongoing here, back over in the Big Bend of Florida, which is just absurd. Back over in Georgia, we also have 1 million without power. Look at all of those red boxes. It is quite literally unbelievable how many power outages we have, even across the state of Georgia. I mean, like, it's It's crazy that Georgia actually got, I feel like, more hit by the wind than Florida did in terms of just pure power outages. Like literally almost 100% of all these counties are without power. The only areas that are, you know, a little bit better off have been northwestern Georgia. The reason why northwest Georgia didn't get it as bad is because the eye actually continued to move more to the north and east. According to the track from the National Hurricane Center, it actually went further east than forecasted. So that's why there's been a lot more power outages across eastern Georgia. South Carolina, 1.3 million without power this morning. Again, unbelievable. Beaufort County, even Jasper, Colleton counties, all almost 100% without power down there. And even back up here in upstate South Carolina, the only safe area really was Horry County. So, and even then they still had power outages. And North Carolina is really ramping up too. We have almost 100% without power over in western North Carolina. And these power outages will probably ramp up a little bit during the afternoon. Probably going to be pretty isolated though over here in the areas that we're talking about, some tornado warnings. And then back up into Virginia even, we have 100,000 without power, again, mostly on the western side of the state. And then over in Tennessee, we also have power outages beginning to ramp up in the northeastern side of the state. And then also in Kentucky, we have power outages. And I believe maybe Pikeville may have lost power to some extent because that camera was out, but if not, they at least have some isolated power outages. So, and guess what? West Virginia also starting to see some power outages. So again, across the board in total, we have approximately like 3 to 4 million without power right now in the southeast United States, according to poweroutage.us. So crazy stuff. All right, we still have 2 tornado warnings. We have the one back down east of Fayetteville, the other one northwest of Durham. Let's check in on this tornado warning again, and then we'll go back to that creek. And I'm still not seeing anything too crazy. There's still rotation near Garland, continuing to move to the north towards Highway 24 in Clinton. But again, if you're in the warning, just continue to stay in your safe place. And this is the Resort Cam's live feed back over in Bryson City, North Carolina. This creek is not supposed to look this filled up, but this is just the... You know, this basically goes to show all the rain that we've seen, upwards of potentially 10 to 12 inches of rain in this area. All that rain lets this, you know, creek just flow all the way downstream, or this river just flows all the way downstream here with tons of water. So, pretty interesting stuff here. It should not look like this. Yesterday, it did not look like this at all. We also have some other stuff I'll show you guys here in a few minutes. There's a lot of stuff to go over. We obviously weren't live for the last, you know, 10
A new
hours,
tornado warning has been issued.
We do have a new tornado warning for Caswell County, North Carolina, Pennsylvania County, Virginia, and Danville County, Virginia. We'll go to that in a second. Thank you, Fanman, Disco, Pup, and Jeff for all becoming 1 and 3 month members. Thank you, Austin, for the super chat. Do we have a measurement for the maximum storm surge? I don't 100% know. I have not seen anything yet. I literally woke up like an hour ago. If anybody sees like a maximum storm surge or anything, feel free to at me on Twitter or let me know in the chat. New tornado warning ongoing for those in Danville, Virginia, Mount Hermon, Virginia, Windover Woods, Virginia, near Mountain Hill, Virginia. Rotation is currently moving to the north, approaching 2958. If you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. And that's moving off to the north at about 35 miles per hour. That's again Danville and Pennsylvania counties in Virginia. Thank you, Weather Nerd, for the $10 super chat. You know why there's no wind risk on the SPC? The reason why we don't have an SPC wind risk is because this is all from the tropical storm. So they don't issue severe thunderstorm warnings when we have 120 mile per hour winds coming from the hurricane. Instead, they issue an extreme wind warning or, again, the hurricane warnings. Thank you, Chris, also for the $5 super chat. Got some sleep last night, a little bit better than the previous night. Cedar Key got 15 feet of storm surge. Max storm surge 10.5 feet. Well, that's not true. I saw 11 feet last night, so we've definitely had something higher than that. So, but if anybody does get something for an official number, feel free to let me know. I am definitely curious to see. All right, we have some other stuff I want to show you. Let me go to Twitter. About a little bit here. And again, if you're just tuning in, we do have a tornado watch across most of North Carolina, a little sliver there of northeastern South Carolina and southern Virginia. This all goes until 6 o'clock tonight. I would expect, though, this tornado threat really winds down after 2 to 3. We'll be probably live here for a couple hours, maybe a few hours if needed, depending on how things go today in terms of the tornado threat. But currently, again, the tornado watch does go for about 6.5 hours. I don't think it'll last that long. I think the worst of it's going to be from now until about 2 o'clock or so. So that is what I'm currently thinking. All right, let me pull this up. This is one of the live cameras over in this is King Street. Just give me 1 second. I'll show you guys in a moment. You can find that video again. We got a this is over in King Street in downtown Boone, North Carolina, on the resort cams. And again, this is earlier, but we're gonna pull up this cam, I think, live here in a second. But this is just crazy flooding. So lots of flooding in North Carolina, and hence why we have, you know, flash flood emergencies across a large chunk of the western side of the state. So yeah, it's King Street. And then again, this is also on the App State camera, again on resort cams. This is another view right now. This is live. This is not recorded. This is live. Minimum 15 feet storm surge in Steinhatchee, Florida. That would make sense. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but I wouldn't be surprised. So raining right there right now. A lot of leaves, by the way, on the ground. Got flipped over trash can. Obviously, gusty winds will cause that sort of stuff. It's not like we had a tornado. I mean, we could have, but probably didn't have a tornado there. All right, and then the King Street camera, which we're gonna go do live. We'll show you in a second if it picks up. And for reference, Boone, North Carolina is right here. So that's right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of that flash flood emergency. And so that's where we just saw all that, you know, crazy flow, all that crazy flooding there in the downtown area. So if the camera does load, we'll pull it up. I'm currently waiting for it to load. Power could be out there too. I'm not sure. It probably is, actually. There probably is no power there. All right, latest velocity scan on the tornado warning near Clinton. Broader circulation moving to the north. Again, if you're in Clinton, North Carolina, just continue to stay in that safe place. We don't have anything on the ground from what we know. And then we're still watching these other storms in and around the Raleigh area. One of the biggest reasons why I did go live is because Raleigh's pretty populated, and we have a lot of storm activity also nearby, and we have had some rotation. So we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on the Raleigh area. And then back over in far northern North Carolina, still some broad circulation just to the southwest of Roxborough. This tornado warning only goes for 10 more minutes, and then we still have that rotation moving towards Danville. And so again, low top supercell going to bring maybe an isolated tornado threat going towards Mount Herman and Danville in Virginia. And we actually have a tornado report from about 20 minutes ago. Apparently there may have been a tornado 20 minutes ago back over in Pipestem, West Virginia. Trees and power lines down, and roofing was on top of garages. So that's the latest over there. Interesting. Let's check out Knoxville right now. This is near the eye of where Helene is right now. And this is a tropical storm, obviously. This is a radar Omega cyclone port back over in Helene. Ryan Hall just posted on X that his power's out at his place in Pikeville, Kentucky. That's why his camera is out. Okay, that makes sense. That's kind of what I thought. Let me look at Twitter here. Must have tweeted earlier because it hasn't been in the last 15 minutes. But yeah, that would make sense. I was about to say, it kind of looked like that. Oh, now I see it. Yeah, that makes sense. I was about to say, that camera being out is honestly not the... Wouldn't be surprising for a storm like this. Bring all that wind up to the north. Yeah, this is pretty close to where the eye is now. Again, the eye of Helene, which again is not really an eye anymore, but the eye is basically in the area of, you know, North Carolina here. It's quickly moving to the north. So the worst of the wind still remains on the north side of this. Again, most of what's on the north side is just wind gusts, strong wind gusts. So we are expected to continue to see power outages in those areas for sure. Let's see if we have any other live shots of anything here. This is a pretty cool live shot. This is back over on Buffalo Mountain. This is Johnson City, Tennessee on, again, resort cams. Huge shout out to resort cams for letting us use these cameras as well. How's it going, John? Welcome on in. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope everybody's doing well. This is a bit of an earlier stream than we usually do. Don't usually go live early. Usually go live in the afternoon. By the way, a little quick update on the tropics. We have now 3 different named storms across the Atlantic Basin. We obviously have Helene. We have Isaac, which is now a hurricane, moving to the east towards probably some of the islands back over there in the northeast Atlantic. And then we also have now Joyce that has just formed. Tropical Storm Joyce back over east of the Lesser Antilles. And we also have two more areas of development. We have one in basically the CAG region. This is where Helene developed. We could see another tropical storm develop as we have a system coming in. We could see another tropical storm develop, though, as we go later into the work week, this upcoming week, and that could move into the Gulf of Mexico, maybe posing another threat to the United States. And then we have another area of development back over in the eastern Atlantic Ocean. So, hurricane season here, it's really beginning to ramp up again, which is pretty crazy. Again, it's that time of year. But this one has a 30% chance of development right now over the next 7 days. So not a high confidence, but obviously enough of a confidence for, at least some cause for concern maybe during the long term here. And I'll show you what it looks like on the latest GFS model run for that particular area of development. So we're gonna have this little system try to come out here into the Caribbean Sea. GFS model very minimally picks up on it on the most recent run, and then after it moves into the Gulf, it's just a weekend tropical storm by next weekend and just kind of sits there and then crashes into Mexico. If we go back though to the previous run, it's much more concerning if, we don't know what's going to happen, right? But if this does develop, it could do a lot of things. It also could just go right through the Yucatan Channel and end up going towards the United States. And currently, we don't really have any steering factors that are in place at all for the most part next week. Like the United States, the weather's going to be really quiet next week. And so this could very easily just stall in the Gulf and end up becoming a pretty big hurricane. And even with there being Helene absorbing a lot of the energy here this week, it's possible that we do get something here. But I think there's at least cause for, maybe thinking about this a little bit, but I don't think there's cause for concern right now because it's just too far out and we don't have anything that's actually developed yet. So but it will be something that we'll be talking about in video forecast probably throughout the week if it's still a concern. So if you are new to the channel, just make sure you're subscribed. All right, back to the tornado warnings. We still have a tornado warning again for Clinton. This is, I think, Sampson County, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is Sampson County. The storm's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, rotation continuing to move north-northeast. It will be going towards Interstate 40 over the next several minutes. Back over in the Raleigh area and really anywhere surrounding that in the suburbs, we are not really looking at much other than rain right now. If any tornadic activity does appear, we'll obviously let you know. But for the time being, everything's been pretty, I would say, chill in terms of the tornado risk over in those areas. And then back up here near Yanceyville, this tornado warning probably just going to be canceled. We don't really have anything there. And then back over in Danville, we still do have some broad circulation moving to the northwest in southern Virginia. So just continue to stay in your safe place if you are in that warning. All right, let's see if we got any sort of other live shots here. This is another live shot back over in Boone, North Carolina. Boone, North Carolina is where we've seen some street flooding. This is another live shot there right now. Still raining. Very low visibility. It's moist. My coffee is making me sleepy. I don't think it's supposed to do that. I don't think it's supposed to do that. If you guys do see any photos or videos, you can have me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. This is from North Carolina Dot. This is a good reason why you should not be traveling out on the roadways today. Because of stuff like this. It is obviously very dangerous to be out there. As long if you're in a flash flood emergency, for example, this is why you should not be traveling. Again, very dangerous out there right now. Lots of flooding currently across much of western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina. Again, turn around, don't drown. If you can't see, the lines in the roads, you should not be, driving through that water. That's pretty dangerous stuff. But if you guys do see any photos or videos, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. And I'll try to at least retweet some of them. Also, we do have a live camera back over from Resort Cams back over in Myrtle Beach that I'm going to show you guys in a second. Got a little Myrtle Beach action. This is the Myrtle Beach live camera. It's currently 79 degrees in Myrtle Beach. There are people at the beach here. Again, not recommended to swim. There's probably going to be at least a lot of rip currents out there today. It's not a good day to swim, but as of right now, not really too crazy of waves. There was a potential for some very low-end storm surge just to the south of Myrtle Beach from last night's winds offshore. Still a little windy here, but plenty of people right now at the beach. Probably a lot of these people vacationing, and they're probably not happy that it's cloudy. Thank you to Heather for the $5 super chat. Is the Fujiwara effect still possible? It's happening right now. Yeah, the Fujiwara effect, it's not like a, tornado outbreak or something. I feel like some people get like this weird feeling when you hear Fujiwara because it's like a weird term. All it is like two low pressure systems. We got the hurricane and we got that upper level trough. They're essentially just going to merge into one trough. So that's all we're seeing. And we're seeing that like right now. Like this is going to merge into one low pressure system. You can see that low pressure system. They both connect to each other and it just becomes one large low pressure system. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. So again, no reason to be concerned by that term. Thank you also Lurie for becoming a 2-month member. Jamestown, North Carolina. I'll check it in real quick. See what's popping over there in Jamestown, North Carolina. There's a Jamestown in like every state. Jamestown's kind of winding down. I mean, basically everything's done there at this point. They have gone ahead and canceled the tornado watch back over near Charlotte and also west of Durham. And again, this tornado watch goes until 6 p.m. I don't think we're going to see tornadoes until 6 p.m. I think it'll be pretty much done by 2 or 3, but threat will exist for the next several hours. And again, we're continuing to watch the radar pretty closely in case anything does appear concerning. We have, again, 3 tornado warnings as of right now. If any of them pop out that look really concerning, we'll obviously let you know. And let me check out and see if we have any other sort of interesting shots right now. There are obviously, again, a lot of power outages here across the board in lots of states. Again, if you are just tuning in, haven't already heard, and maybe don't know what's happening. Again, we have over 3 million people without power in the southeast United States. Over 1.2 million without power in South Carolina. Over 1 million without power in Georgia. And Florida has now just gone under 1 million without power. So they are starting to improve a little bit in terms of power outages. So that's at least some good news there, that they're starting to recover a little bit in terms of power outages. And then back over in Tennessee and Kentucky, those power outages are just getting started. So also, here's the resort cam shot back over. This is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee this morning. Again, it's moist. Thank you, MJ, for becoming a VIP Velocity member. Put some W's in the chat for Jay. Appreciate you becoming a VIP Velocity member. I think one of the craziest live shots again that we have is literally just this outdoor center here with the creek flowing. Tons of rain fell again, and this creek is just overflowing essentially right now with water. It's very, very crazy. If anybody has a photo of this place like 2 days ago or even yesterday, at me on Twitter. I want to try to compare and contrast, or at least show you guys what it looked like yesterday, because it looked nothing like this yesterday. The weather the Weather Prediction Center still has a high risk of excessive rainfall in place for northwestern North Carolina and very far southwestern Virginia. Thank you, P-Dub, for the super chat. You're a fast thinker. What's your IQ? I don't know. Probably pretty low. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is pretty crazy though. I mean, for the record, there is supposed to be, water flowing here, but obviously not this much. Surprised you still have a voice left? I'm surprised we're even live, to be honest. after the last few days, I'm excited for this weekend. We at least get a break. I'm gonna have to catch up on so much homework and stuff too. It's gonna be so fantastic. Tornado warning still radar indicated, but does continue in Pittsylvania County and Virginia. Scott Hansen doesn't get breaks. I don't know what the highest storm surge was yet. Does anybody know? Let me look. I'm gonna see if I can find anything. I mean, I know at least we had a peak of 12 feet of storm surge somewhere. I'm not sure if there is an official number yet, though. Okay, this is an official number. Steinhatchee River in Florida at least reached 16 feet of storm surge. I'm retweeting a video on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. They reached at least 16 feet of storm surge in Steinhatchee River in Florida. That's where we had that radar Omega mesovort yesterday too, where all the storm surge was happening. But preliminary post-landfall modeling of storm surge from Hurricane Helene indicates areas within the Big Bend region of Florida near Keaton Beach, Steinhatchee, and Horseshoe Beach had water levels reach more than 15 feet above ground level. So we did have over 15 feet of storm surge. The forecast, again, was 15 to 20 feet of storm surge, which, again, that forecast, that high of a forecast is, like, literally, you know, just never happened before. So, from the National Hurricane Center, at least. So, crazy stuff. Max is in East Texas? I am not in East Texas. I am in Florida. We still have tornado warning ongoing near Clinton. Still not really seeing much here, honestly. I think that tornado warning will probably be let to expire. Yeah, this tornado threat might just be a quick one. We'll see. So far, it doesn't look too crazy. It was a little crazy there for a few minutes near the beginning where we had like 7 tornado warnings. But again, we are not expecting this tornado threat to last all day. It should be pretty much for the next like 2 to 3 hours, and then we're kind of done. So, see what happens. We don't have any Pennsylvania tornado warning. Pittsylvania County in Virginia is where the tornado warning is. That one up here in Virginia. Are you the only one in Florida with power? There's a lot of people with power in Florida. Go to the power outage map. There's plenty of people with power. Big Bend is the one area that literally, like, nobody has power. Basically, there's a pretty good amount of the state with power. A lot of the power outages too, like, you know, near Duval County and also back through the West Coast. It's mostly isolated to scattered. Thank you, Dub, for the super chat. Appreciate that. What time did I finish my stream last night? Just after 1 a.m. Oh, by the way, there is a this just happened a few minutes. This was about 45 minutes ago, but I forgot to mention this. This particular flash flood emergency in Greenville, Rutherford, and Spartanburg counties in South Carolina is a flash flood emergency. There is a dam failure that is imminent, and it is a catastrophic situation back over in that particular county. Let me go to that. I don't know where. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, it's this county right here. Dam failure is imminent. Emergency management reported heavy rain and flooding across the warned area. Widespread catastrophic flooding across these counties. And then some other stuff. Shelter in place. Do not travel into fleeing floodwaters. And then, yeah, it's a particularly dangerous situation. So, but that was upgraded to a dam failure imminent. It was this one. It was this flash flood. So it was the one west of Greenville, but anywhere just west of Greenville. Emergency management reports hundreds of trees down, preventing rescue operations. That's bad. Hundreds of trees. I've never seen wording like that in one of these warnings. Shelter in place and do not travel unless fleeing floodwaters. Significant flooding is ongoing in multiple locations. And then some other stuff there. Between 5 to 8 inches of rain fell there. In addition, dam releases from the Kewanee Hydro Station will result in imminent sudden increases in river stage height. So, that's not good. Again, this is a pretty bad situation. Again, this is one of the more historic flooding events that we've seen here in, like, I would say at least years, but probably decades across the higher elevations of North Carolina and South Carolina. And unfortunately, it was more of an overnight threat, so we really couldn't cover it. But yeah, it's been crazy. Thank you, God bless, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chicken, for the super chat. How is the Midlands of South Carolina looking? Columbia floods really bad. So debating on going to work or not. I mean, if you're in like a flash flood warning or you have any sort of flash flooding, like I would, you know, avoid traveling. I don't think Columbia's kind of done though. Like there's no more rain coming for Columbia at this point, unless there's like some passing showers. So the amount of rain that we're going to see here across, you know, South Carolina is pretty much winding down at this point. But the worst of it has already happened at this point. We still have rain falling, especially back up in Virginia, where that flash flooding is going to continue. We still have flash flood emergencies up here in Virginia, and as well as upstate North Carolina. But again, the worst of it is starting to trickle down when it comes to the flooding. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning near Wilmington. It has a tornado possible label. A little broad area of circulation. They'll be moving inland towards Wilmington, North Carolina. Does Cary, North Carolina have a threat of tornadoes? At this point, no. Cary is now outside of the risk for tornadoes. So Cary's done. Durham's done. It's basically anywhere that's within proximity of this line or east. This is the only place that we're going to see tornadic activity out of, other than a few storms coming off the coastline. So if you're west of this line, essentially, you're done with tornadoes at this point. I didn't realize Max got 400,000 subscribers. I know. We gained 18,000 subscribers yesterday. Like, not even kidding. We started the day yesterday with 385, and now we're at 403. Or we were at 403. Now we're at 404. It's bananas. Yesterday was a crazy day. Yesterday also was our most viewed day of all time, nearly at 1.5 million total views. It's just absolutely absurd. Check Discord DMs. I have 10 different messages. I don't know if I'm going to be able to check this. I don't know if I'll be able to find yours. I'll check them after stream, though. I have a lot of different ones. Oh, okay. So I see your thing. Thank you. Yeah, Cedar Key has some pretty significant damage from this hurricane. Cedar Key got hit pretty hard, unfortunately. Back to that resort cams shot. Again, this is the resort cams view here. This is back over again in Bryson City, North Carolina. There's not supposed to be as much water as there is now here, but there's a lot of water flowing. Let me quickly look up this place. I'm gonna try to find a before and after shot here of this place so you guys can see what it looked like before. Thank you, Michaela, for the $10 super chat. 9,000 people watching, only 1,500 likes. It's unfortunate. Thank you, Wanda, for the $5 super chat as well. Appreciate the generosity. Yeah, but for the record, this is not supposed to be like this rough. It's supposed to be pretty calm. I still can't find a photo, though, that would represent what it should look like. I see some Google images. Basically what this is supposed to look like is that it's not supposed to be flowing with water. It's supposed to be like pretty calm. So that's I guess the biggest thing to look for. Also, the water has been going up to this wall on the left. If you can kind of see on the left side there, that the water essentially goes up to that wall. It's not supposed to be that high. This is like, I would say 1 or 2 feet higher than it's supposed to be, and it's also not supposed to go up to here. So yeah, the water is just obviously very high here. Thank you, Renz, for the super chat. Thank you, Hans. I got it. Thank you. This is the latest from NATOcast on today's Tornado Outlook. This is an experimental tool, but essentially, it is showing the greatest tornado risk now back over here in southern Virginia and far northern North Carolina, and then a low-end tornado risk elsewhere. So, a little bit further north, I think, than the SPC Outlook. For reference, the SPC Outlook is this right here. One moment. Thank you, Robin, for the super chat. So the SPC Outlook has actually that greatest tornado threat near the coastline of North Carolina and South Carolina, which I agree with. I think any storms that come off the coast have a better shot because of the rotation and the potential for a water spout to produce a tornado threat. And then also we have a low-end tornado threat a little bit further up to the north into parts of Virginia and even southern Delaware, and a low-end tornado risk here for the rest of the morning hours, which is about 3 more minutes, and then into the early afternoon. Thank you, Dank, excuse me, for the super chat. Sorry, thank you, Dank, for becoming a member. I cannot read. Hey, Ren's for the super chat. Whiteville, North Carolina. Check it out. Whiteville is pretty much done. Yeah, you're pretty much done. Even though you're in the tornado watch still, the area of tornadic activity is now to your east. Still have a little bit of circulation on this line. Again, there's going to be on and off, probably a couple more brief tornadoes up and down this line, but the risk, I think, honestly, it might not be that much longer until we're kind of done with the tornado threat. So we'll be here as long as there's something happening. Thank you, Stacy, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Am I golfing soon? I hope so. I don't know if I will be, though. Maybe in a few weeks. Maybe in a few weeks I'll be golfing. I haven't golfed in a while. Last time I golfed was, I think, August. Thank you, Julie, for the $20 super chat. Put some W's in the chat for Julie. Yeah, there is a dam failure imminent. Actually, one in South Carolina, and apparently Lake Lure in North Carolina. There's also a dam failure imminent. Let's check that out. Not sure which warning it would be. Up to 11 inches of rain fell in this flash flood emergency near Hendersonville. They have extended the flash flood emergency for Carter and Unicoi counties. I think it's this one in Tennessee. It is still a catastrophic situation there. And then the Johnson County one, that's this one. That one is still a catastrophic flash flood emergency as well. That one's also been extended. And this is a live view on the Radar Omega cyclone port back over near Knoxville in Tennessee. Again, this is near the eye of where Helene is. Helene is, again, back down to a very low-end tropical storm, and it will soon be a post-tropical cyclone as it continues to move further inland into the Ohio Valley. I just spilled tea. Fun fact, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Idalia made landfall within 20 miles of each other. Which is kind of crazy, not gonna lie. I'm drinking tea today. I'm not drinking my water. I mean, I'm drinking tea because I need caffeine. I woke up like an hour ago, so that's why I'm currently drinking tea. I'm not drinking my water. That area is a hurricane magnet. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy what we've seen. I've got to say, yesterday's live stream was one of the craziest I feel like that I've ever been a part of, or that we've ever had in general. So personally, for me, that was one of the crazier streams. Thank you, V, for the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. No problem, Alicia. Got high wind warning in Illinois. Yeah, the winds are gonna be pretty gusty today. If you didn't watch my forecast this morning, which you may or may not have, I don't know. But if you didn't watch my forecast this morning, I'll pull up the wind gust potential for the rest of the afternoon, so you get an idea of where the winds are going to be the highest. But currently looking across the board, the worst of the winds for the next few hours will be in parts of Ohio and Indiana. The worst of the winds really in this core, where again, near the center of Helene. So that'll continue to move off to the north. And then beyond that, as we go into the afternoon, just look how that wind field just stretches out again from Arkansas back even into Pennsylvania. And so wind gusts are going to be up there today. Again, the good news is that this isn't as intense as before, but we will continue to see power outages back over in parts of Indiana and even Ohio, and possibly even into parts of Illinois. We could see some isolated power outages. And then as we go into tomorrow, the wind just continues to kind of swirl here around that low pressure system in Kentucky. But again, a lot of this will just be low end gusts. We're not talking about really anything absurd when it comes to winds tomorrow. So what a crazy hurricane. Give me 1 second. I don't know why this is popping up. Hey, space for the super chat. I don't want to sensitilize. I can't even say that word. But you called it a Cat 4 the entire time with tons of pushback from viewers. Awesome job staying firm. Yeah, I mean, that happens, you know. When you essentially, you know, forecast a high-end hurricane, I think this goes for anybody. You know, you're gonna get naturally a lot of pushback. I think no matter what you forecast with a hurricane, because some people are gonna be like, oh, you're overhyping this, oh, this is that. I mean, like, you're gonna get that, I think, anyway, like, especially with an audience that I have nowadays. Like, I think that's just bound to happen. Like, people are gonna disagree with it, people are gonna be mad that you're, you know, trying to scare the crap out of people or whatever. But I think we rightfully forecasted this, and I think we did a pretty good job, in my opinion, of forecasting this hurricane. So, you know, personally, I think we did pretty good. You know, I think that there's obviously reason to at least forecast the way that we forecasted, and I think that there's obviously a lot of, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there was a lot of computer models also that showed that same sort of scenario. So, you know, with that said, though, I mean, people are gonna have their own opinion, and whatever their opinion is may or may not matter. So we had a lot. I mean, I had a lot of people I saw a lot of people in the chat, like even yesterday and the day before, like, oh, this is not gonna be a Cat 4 or whatever. And I was like, alrighty, we'll wait and see. How's it going, Brenda? Welcome back. For the first time in a little over probably 10 hours, we now have under 1 million people without power in Florida. It was over 1 million for a little while, but power is starting to get restored. I don't think power is going to get restored anytime soon, or it'll at least take a while back over in the Big Bend of Florida. Again, the worst areas, Taylor County, the entire county pretty much without power. Same thing for Dixie County. And then Suwannee County is also almost all without power. Columbia County, same way. Hamilton, Madison, Jefferson, Wakulla counties, almost all without power. Why am I telling you guys this? Well, I don't think anybody in this chat is even in these counties, because you probably don't have power. But if you're there, you're pretty much all without power in those counties. Georgia's pretty bad too. Again, Georgia with over 1 million without power. Georgia, again, if you're just tuning in, didn't already hear, Georgia got hit really hard with wind last night more than anything. And the eye went further east than initially forecasted. And that brought a lot more power outages to the eastern half of the state compared to the western half of the state. So a little bit of a curveball of the forecast last night. It was kind of last second where it changed. But yeah, it went more northeast than it initially forecasted. So... And then South Carolina has actually the most power outages out of any state, with over 1.2 million without power, according to poweroutage.us. And then also North Carolina ramping up, almost 1 million without power in North Carolina now. North Carolina almost has more power outages than Florida. Just kind of crazy. Florida was where it made landfall, and North Carolina is almost up there. And then Virginia also starting to ramp up, 150,000 without power. Guys, no politics in the chat. If you say anything about politics, you're gonna get at least a 10-minute timeout, probably more than that. So no politics. I don't care where you stand in politics. No politics. And then also Tennessee, most of the power outages in the northeast side of the state, 85,000 without power. And then Kentucky, almost 100,000 without power now. And then West Virginia, 38,000 without power. And so yeah, power outages do continue. Last time Helene will be used for a hurricane? Yeah, more than likely. So more than likely be the last time we see the word Helene used for a hurricane. The local is big story. Local is Lake Lure Dam is critical, expected to break, evacuating people around. Lake Lure Dam, where is this? Is it on the map? Let me just go to Lake Lure. I'm not sure where the dam is located, to be honest, but this is Lake Lure. So apparently they're evacuating people here. I'm guessing it's somewhere in here. I'm not sure where. Oh, right here. I think this is it, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. On the east side, okay, that's it then. They have a, again, flash flood emergencies ongoing there. And this is back over again in Bryson City, North Carolina. It's overcast, 70 degrees on the Resort Cams live feed here. And water is continuing to surge down this river. Yeah, there are a lot of evacuations, especially in those flash flood emergencies. But there's over 4 million people total without power. And we now have officially 21 different fatalities from Hurricane Helene. 9 were in Georgia, 7 in Florida, 3 in North Carolina, and 2 in South Carolina. The 9 in Georgia are 3 were crushed by a fallen tree on a house, which was one of the biggest concerns last night because of the pure wind and also large trees. 2 of them from a tornado, 2 from trauma or something like that, 1 fallen tree onto a vehicle, which apparently was a firefighter, which is not good. And then 1 was a crash, and then 7 in Florida, 2 from drowning, 1 was another fallen tree onto a home, 1 was a fallen highway sign, and then 3 other unspecified. And this is according to WX Fatalities on Twitter. 3 of them in North Carolina, 2 from a vehicle crash, and then 1 from another fallen tree on a home, and then 2 in South Carolina, which we do not know the cause of those right now. So that's the latest in terms of, unfortunately, fatalities. All right. How's it going, Big E? Welcome back. Storm Chasers did an amazing job. Yeah, the Storm Chasers were, I think for the most part, in a good position, at least. I thought they all did a pretty good job. You know, we had, obviously, Connor Croft. We had Storm Hunter Media. Brandon Kopic was out there. Corey Gherkin. Ronnie McKinney with Ben Williams and Connor, obviously. I think everybody played it, you know, safe. You know, there's a point, like, I was concerned yesterday. Like, I was concerned for Chasers. Like, I felt like, you know, at least 1 or 2 of them would have gotten way too close to the coast. And there were plenty that were close to the coast, but I honestly thought that, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of them would be, like, literally, like, right on the coast. And, like, the storm surge would, like, you know, trap them, essentially. That was my concern yesterday. I'm glad I didn't see, like, anything like that, at least. So far, I haven't seen anything like that, so. Hey, Crispy Bacon for the super chat. When will cheese curds be featured on stream? That's a good question. I feature them whenever we DoorDash them. I've done it. Will Helene be retired? I would say probably. We don't know though for sure yet. I don't think they've said anything yet. I could be wrong though, but I would assume that it's going to be retired. Especially with it being Cat 4. First ever Cat 4 in the Big Bend of Florida. Like, I would assume it's going to be retired. But, especially with how historic it's been. I mean, it's not just been it making landfall as a Cat 4. It's also been the fact that it's also, you know, made landfall. And then, you know, it's produced this catastrophic flooding event. And in addition to that, it's also produced, you know, tons of wind damage and power outages across several states. So. Is Brandon Kopic out there today? Is he live? Not sure if Brandon Kopic is doing like a little thingy today. I'm not sure if he's doing a stream. He is. All right. Brandon Kopic is going to be out there today. He's on Radar Omega and on YouTube. So we'll keep a close eye on him if he does anything. Over at Tallahassee. Might do some like sort of recovery stuff. Maybe check out. I know he's gonna be doing some of the hurricane probe retrievals and stuff like that from the Radar Omega mesovorts that are propped up there. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on him if anything is happening there. Thank you, Bunny, for the super chat. Hi, Mara in Raleigh, North Carolina. Good news is, I think Raleigh is pretty much done with this tornado threat. The worst of it's now again moving to the east. We still have broad rotation, but this tornado threat again really was mostly supposed to be in the morning, and from what we're seeing, it's really already starting to wind down. But again, we'll be here in case something does ramp up. It might get a little crazy here soon, but I honestly think the worst of it has already happened. So, hey, Tux to the super chat. Yeah, he's supposed to go live at 1, so Random Topic will be live at 1 o'clock. Did any of the cameras remain working? Yeah, there's still actually 3 cameras. We can actually check them out. This is, I forgot I forgot they were still up. We have the Shell Point Beach, Florida camera. This is what it looks like now, after Helene. So, doesn't look too shabby right now. I mean, again, this is on the west side of where it made landfall. So naturally there wasn't really any storm surge here, very minimal at least, because we had an onshore. We basically, the wind was coming from inland going out to sea, so water's not being pushed really inland. Also, this is Carabel. Oh, this is a sailboat that got stuck here. So there's actually, this actually happened. A sailboat. This is not supposed to be here. That was not there yesterday, and it's stuck on this bridge. Huh. Back over in the Big Bend. And again, if you are a subscriber on the Radar Omega app, you can access these cameras. They are the Project Mesovorts. They still have some of these up. Isn't today your birthday, guys? My birthday is not for a few months. Connor's birthday is in like a week, I think. Any update on the white car left on the bridge? I will check that out, actually. And here's another view. This is the one in St. George Island. Let me check that out, though, and see if that is still there. It's still there. that car is still actively there. It's so weird. This is the Cape Weather camera. This is what we were looking at most of yesterday in some of the streams. You'll remember there was tons of waves hitting the wall here, and lots of water obviously going over the wall there, but that car is still there. Just crazy. And it's also very calm water, so it gives you an idea of what yesterday looked like versus now a much more calm day today. Really weird. Again, I kind of thought it might be some funny business happening there, but not sure. Thank you, Haley, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. Camera isn't shaking today? Yeah, it's actually calm out there today. Crazy that it's actually calm there today. Yeah, this sailboat, I'm not sure when it got there, but that's definitely not supposed to be there. It's like stuck along a bridge. Northern Virginia, mostly just rain. Very low tornado risk. I'd say it's pretty close to 0, though. This is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. They just came out with their new outlook for today for the tornado risk. So if you are wondering about the tornado risk for the rest of today, this is the latest outlook. We'll have it on the map here in a second so you can see where the cities are and stuff, but they still have left a 10% tornado risk across parts of southern and central North Carolina, and then that slight risk goes all the way back up into southern Virginia, and then the marginal threat for tornadoes still goes up into southern Delaware. So I will show you the more detailed map in a second. Hey, Michaela, for another $10 super chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Sailboat's actually moving. The sailboat's like moving right now. You see this? I don't know if it's like moving away or it's just like swaying back and forth, but it's actually moving. I'm like 99% sure there's nobody on the sailboat. I think it sailed down the river. There's no way there's anybody on that. It's sinking? It look like it's sinking. I mean, it looks like it's sinking on the backside, but it's been kind of like that. Hey, Killjoy, for becoming a moderate velocity member. It looks like it's sinking a little bit, but I don't think it's going to sink. The storm in South Carolina no longer has a tornado possible label on it. Let that sink in. Bruh, there's no way we're making those jokes. It's definitely sinking. It doesn't look like it. I'm watching like the zoom in, it's shrinking. I can't really zoom in. Guess I can do that. Thank you, Jerry, for the $10 super chat. No problem at all. Appreciate you tuning in. I don't think it's sinking. If it's sinking, it's gonna take a long time because it's not like going down that fast. Either I'm really stupid or everybody just keeps saying it's gonna sink. I don't know. Everybody in the chat keeps saying it's sinking. Let me fix this again. Thank you, V Sharp, for the super chat. Hey, JP, appreciate it. It kind of looks like it's getting a little bit lower, though. I could be wrong, but it does look like it's gotten a little bit lower here over time. Like how cars are just casually traveling here on this bridge right now. I think it is sinking, though. Do I have to worry in Williamsburg, Indiana? No. I would not be worried over there. All right, we'll go back to that if that starts to do anything funky. It's actually getting pretty windy here in Knoxville, Tennessee right now. Again, this is a live view in Knoxville. This is near the eye of where Helene is, which is, again, a very low-end tropical storm. Am I drinking soda? No, this is, again, iced tea. I'm about to hit 60 days without having any soda, which is crazy. It's wedged on a bridge, not sinking. I know for sure that boat or that sailboat was not there last night. That literally just probably flew down. It went down the river or something, probably. Again, just an update. Hurricane Helene fatality totals up to 21, 9 in Georgia, 7 in Florida, 3 in North Carolina, 2 in South Carolina. The peak winds that were observed yesterday, wind gusts at least so far. Perry was 99 miles per hour, Cedar Key 84, Jenna 83, Clearwater Beach 74, St. Petersburg 71 miles per hour. That's the latest up there. Look at the traffic light. What traffic light? I don't see a traffic light. By the way, this is the latest on Tropical Storm Joyce that just formed out in the Atlantic Ocean. And this will not be something that impacts the United States, but a little tropical storm out there. And we are really flying through the names now in this hurricane list. The hurricane season list. Like we only had like 5 or 6 named storms up until like last week. Now we have like 3 now right now that are currently in the Atlantic, or one of them actually in the United States right now. So which is Helene. Look at the traffic light in the middle of the screen. That's a gas station sign. How about that? Or am I blind? I don't see a traffic light. That's like a chevron or something. It's tripping. LED flickering. Oh, that's probably just because of the camera. That's not actually flickering. All right, the tornado risk is updated. Let me show you guys the updated map here. Here's the latest on the tornado threat. So again, Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville, you guys are done with the tornado risk. If you are in Greenville, Cape Lookout, Wilmington, Moorhead City, Elizabethtown, Kitty Hawk, or Cape Hatteras, any of those areas, you are still at least in a low to medium tornado threat for the rest of today. Elevated tornado risk does continue just east of Raleigh for the next few hours. Again, we'll be here as long as there is some concern. We haven't really seen anything recently. I mean, again, the last 30 minutes, not really anything really rotating, but just some broad circulation for the most part back over near Goldsboro. Then further south, closer to the coast, we do have a possibility actually for a fishnado southeast of Oak Island moving north. But again, so far it's been pretty quiet in terms of this tornado threat. I mean, there's been a lot of warnings, just nothing I've seen yet on radar that's indicated a tornado. But again, continue to stay weather aware, have a tornado action plan in place, multiple ways to receive alerts, all that sort of jazz. See if that sailboat's done anything else. Sailboat's still in the same spot. Nothing really different with that sailboat right now. Was this worse than forecasted? I would probably say, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was worse than forecasted. I feel like the forecast, at least our forecast, I felt like was pretty good. I mean, again, I thought it would be a high-end Cat 3 or low-end Cat 4 in landfall. Ended up being a mid-grade Cat 4. I thought the forecast across the board was pretty good. So, that's my opinion. I don't know if we have any cameras of the Lake Lord Dam. If anybody knows, let me know. And I can look, but I don't know if we have any cameras of that dam. Friendly reminder, if you are new to the channel, again, make sure to subscribe. We'll, again, continue to have some updates on the tropics over the next few weeks. Obviously, the tropics are likely to continue to stay active. And so we are going to more than likely have more videos over the next few days talking about it, as we might have a new Gulf of Mexico, potentially a new Gulf of Mexico tropical storm or even hurricane develop next week. It'll develop in the Caribbean and then eventually move into the Gulf. So there'll be something to watch for. And we no longer have any sort of warnings. Oops. We no longer have any sort of... that's also the wrong screen. We no longer have any sort of warnings. But I don't have another overlay for not having warnings, so we're just going to keep it on this. That's okay with you guys. I know it might be a little bit confusing, but I don't really have many options. Unless I go to a trop... I would have to, like, update another overlay. Alright. If you guys have any questions, also feel free to leave them in the chat. Max is destroyed on red wine right now. I've never had red wine in my life. I've never even had... I've really literally had no wine in my life either.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, we have a new tornado warning for Johnston and Wayne counties in North Carolina. That is just west of Goldsboro. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building. It's moving towards Princeton and Kenly. Trying to develop into something. Again, moving north, just west of Goldsboro. Looks like that white car isn't getting their insurance claim after all. Yeah, I would have to agree. What indicates this being a tornado warning? I mean, we have rotation, the velocities, the winds going towards the radar, this is going away from the radar. It's not really that strong, but it might develop into something more. Still, I would say somewhat on the broad side of things, but if it's able to, if we get more, basically if we get more of a velocity, basically more of a velocity signature going away from the radar where this red color starts to increase in terms of intensity, I think there'll be a better chance that we do get a tornado out of this. Granted, this is not really a super favorable environment for a tornado. Like, we're looking at a storm that's like, it's more linear. It's not really a great environment for a tornado, but tropical tornadoes can be weird. And so there's your little circulation, a little bit more definitive now, but tropical tornadoes, I mean, we can have storms that look like they should not be producing tornadoes that do produce tornadoes with tropical cyclones. So, you know, this is kind of one of those situations. We are now less than 500 subscribers to 405,000 subscribers. That's crazy. How's that sailboat? I don't think anything's changed. I'll go back to it for a second. Still looks the same. I would be surprised if we see this thing sink. I don't think it's going to. It would probably be sinking faster than this. Was yesterday a maximum viewership ever? 32,000 people watching? No, our derecho stream in the Midwest was the most viewed ever at a given time when it comes to concurrent viewership. We had like 48,000, I think, people watching at the peak of that stream for the derecho in the Midwest. Well, yeah, if you look at the back end of that sailboat, I mean, it looks like it's sinking, but it's been like this for like at least 20 minutes now. It's looked the exact same. I mean, it might be sinking, but it's propped up, I think, to this bridge somehow. And that's why it's actually not fully sinking right now. Stormrunner Media is going live in 30. I think they're doing a members only stream. Let me double check. Yeah, he's doing a members only stream. With another radar scan in a moment. Again, tornado warning right now west of Goldsboro. Going towards Fremont here in North Carolina. I'm gonna look if there's any cameras here. The flash flood warning in Russell, Scott, Washington, Bristol, Norton, and Wise counties in Virginia was just upgraded to a considerable threat now for flash flooding, and it is observed. Right, let's see if there's any live cameras here in North Carolina. Check it out. I've never used the website here for cameras in North Carolina, so to be honest with you, I don't know where I'd be looking on this website. Anybody know where you see traffic cameras in North Carolina? Has Max brought up the tornado outlook recently? I have. This is the current tornado outlook. It's a little funky, but this is the enhanced risk, and again, that's where we have a 10% tornado risk, mostly in southern North Carolina near Jacksonville, Wilmington, and Greenville. And the slight risk goes up into parts of Virginia, near Roanoke, Richmond, Virginia Beach, Kitty Hawk, and then a marginal threat goes all the way up near Harrisonburg. Very low risk up that direction, though. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. Please inform the population on your height. I am 8'7". Okay. I just found the map. All right, let me see if there's anything over here. Where is this again? This is near I-95. Rotation's still somewhat broad. Let's take off the severe weather overlay here. This is near Princeton. This is just southeast again of Raleigh. Yeah, we do have a couple of cameras. This is what it looks like right now. It's not live. It is apparently North Carolina only takes photos, but there's water on the road. We have confirmed water. It is confirmed moist. Very moist here in North Carolina. The height answer earned my subscription? Bruh. This guy subscribed just because I'm 8'7". That's crazy. I don't know why people ask about my, like, whenever you ask about somebody's height, it's just weird. Like one of those things that, like, people put on their Tinder profile. It's like a big deal, apparently. We're currently using the Radar Omega app. It's the, you can download it with, like, the bottom link in the description if you'd like. The app I've been using for over a year. It's fantastic. Still have some broad circulation near Goldsboro, moving north. And I don't know if this is really going to continue as a tornado warning, but still have a little bit of rotation there. Probably got a fish NATO, maybe even 2 fish NATOs just off the coast of North Carolina, south of Oak Island. If you know any fish in this warning, let them know. Give them a call or text. Bikini Bottom might be in trouble. What category are we at now? We're at a tropical storm. It's about to be a post-tropical cyclone. Just a low-end tropical storm at this point. But it is continuing to bring impacts. This is the latest SPC mesoscale discussion. A few brief tornadoes will remain possible this afternoon. That is for those just east of Roanoke, for the most part. Again, Richmond, Williamsburg, Norfolk, South Hill, and Virginia, Farmville. And then also into North Carolina, Henderson, Rocky Mount, Jacksonville, New Bern, and Wilmington. And the latest update is this is the summary. A few brief tornadoes remain possible through the rest of the afternoon as a weakening band of showers with embedded thunderstorms moves across parts of eastern North Carolina and southern Virginia. Despite numerous low-level mesocyclones during the late morning to midday, tornado genesis has largely appeared elusive within the persistent band of convection. One strong meso with the deepest updraft in the last hour may have briefly produced in southern North Carolina. Low-level winds have subsided across the coastal plain, but do remain sufficient for a brief tornado threat amid dew points in the mid-70s and even some temperatures in the low 80s. Very humid. Low-level photographs remain rather enlarged, but will shrink throughout the afternoon. Morning convective model guidance suggests that the breakup of convection band should occur, which will yield a more cellular mode. This would be more favorable for potential for a few tornadoes, but should be tempered by the otherwise diminishing shear and ascent environment. So that's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Thank you, Catherine, by the way, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Ghost, for the $2 super chat. I missed those, but I appreciate it. Go to sleep, Weather Geek. Bro, it's like 12 o'clock. A little bit more rotation developing on this warning near Goldsboro. Just a little bit. It's going to be on track for Pikeville and Fremont in North Carolina. Okay, apparently Resort Cams actually has a Lake Lure camera, but unfortunately I think the power's out there. Thank you, Pup, for that. Sleep, eat, weather, repeat. Have to agree with that one. It's pretty much what it's been for the last like 4 days. I've done nothing other than weather and sleep and eat. That's pretty much it. But after this stream, we're done talking about weather probably for a few days. I mean, we'll have videos probably, but I don't think we'll have any more live streams for a bit. I wanted to go live this morning because why not? 1 and then 2, you know. Kind of felt like it. Don't fall behind in your classes. Oh, trust me, we're falling behind. we're gonna catch up this weekend though. This weekend will be a catch-up weekend for everything. Friendly reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We are 450 subscribers from 405,000. You want weather coverage like this and videos, make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon as well so you're notified of the latest videos and live streams. What's the death toll? It's at 21 right now, according to WX Fatalities on Twitter. Warning just was updated. It is still radar indicated for Johnston and Wayne counties in North Carolina, just west of Goldsboro. There is a chance for another hurricane next week. Again, if you want more details on that, you can watch my video forecast from today. That is the details that you are looking for. I talked about it near the end of the forecast for reference. There are timestamps as well. There are currently 21. I didn't realize this. Let me show you guys this. There are 21 flash flood emergencies right now. I don't know if I've ever seen that many in my life. Not since 1916 has there been such a catastrophic flooding event for parts of the southern Appalachians. We have 21 flash flood emergencies. We almost have as many flash flood emergencies as flash flood warnings. And again, flash flood emergencies are not common. Like with Francine in Louisiana, I think we had 1 or 2 maybe in like New Orleans. With Debbie, I don't know if we really even had that many. We had like maybe 5 or 6 probably a couple of those days. 21 flash flood emergencies though is literally crazy, dude. Holy cow. That is just wild. That is bananas. I don't know. I've never seen 21 flash flood emergencies in my life. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the record is, but that might be the record. Is the dam failure still imminent? That's what I'm seeing in chat about. There's a dam failure that's apparently about to happen at the oh, what was it? The Lake Allure, North Carolina, and then we also have one down here that said that there was expected to be dam releases from the Kewanee Hydro Station in South Carolina. So the Brown Bottom Road in particular may be affected, and then some locations nearby will be affected. So if you live in that area, you are under a catastrophic flash flood emergency right now. Well, if you want a little bit of good news, this is the low-level water vapor. So if you're in the southeast, you are getting a lot of drier air at this point. A lot of drier air. So if you were hoping for a nicer day today compared to yesterday, you're going to get one. Will this help Columbus, Ohio with their drought? There'll be some rain, but it's not going to be really enough, I think, to knock out the drought, but it'll help a little bit. Actually, it's actually pretty windy up here right now. This is another live Radar Omega project, or Radar Omega, no, I can't even speak today. Radar Omega camera over here in Southwest Ohio. And so, again, it's getting pretty windy out there. A little bit of rain falling. After 5 straight days of live streaming, I think we are starting to lose it here. We were live on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. 27th.
A new tornado
live 4
warning
straight
has
days,
been issued.
So, I think 4 or 5 straight days. We have a new tornado warning for Franklin, Granville, Warren, and Vance counties in North Carolina. Might be this area. They've also just extended the flash flood emergency for Carter, Washington, and Unicoi counties in Tennessee. It is still a catastrophic situation. New tornado warning back up here near Franklinton, Kittrell, Henderson. Rotations moving north, so seek shelter if you're in this warning. Just north of Raleigh. That's your rotation right there. So in the moderate side of things, not tight, not on the ground, but could develop into something as that moves north. So seek shelter if you're in that warning. Golf is the best stress relief? I have to agree. Honestly, it is. Update on Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale's done. I'm really excited for the weekend. We can finally take a break from live streaming. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend, but it's probably going to be consistent of a lot of homework. How much is Radar Omega? It is $8.99. You can download it with the top link in the, or not the top link, but the bottom link in the description. I do recommend it. I thought golf was boring too until I tried it. That's what my friends do. My friends thought I was like a boomer or like a really old person because I play golf. I was like, bruh, I'm not old. It's a lit sport. And now they're golfing. Now they're golfers. You know, it's crazy. You don't work? What do you mean? Aren't you in your 30s? Bro, there's no way people think I'm in my 30s. I'm in my peak right now. We're in the low 20s right now. Like, what? There are people that think I'm 50. Like, there's no way that you guys think I'm 50. Watching golf is the most boring thing ever? I think that's cap. Watching golf is lit. You get to fall asleep to it. It's lit. Thought you were 35. Wow. The Wayne County, North Carolina tornado warning still is continuing. It is still radar indicated. Nothing is wrong with being 30 plus. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not 30. So, you know, I'm chilling where I'm at. Grandpa Max is my hero. That's nice. How's the boat? Oh, let's check real quick. I don't think anything's changed, but we'll look. Still there. It's hanging on by a thread right now. Hanging on by a thread. This is again one of the Radar Omega Project Mesovorts. If you are a subscriber on the Radar Omega app, you can check this out. This is back over in Carabel, Florida. Result of some of the damage that we saw yesterday out of Helene. When am I streaming Outbreak? I have no clue, dude. I want to stream it at some point. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Hopefully. I can only hope. Hopefully the weather quiets down a little bit here. Thank you, Rochelle. I just saw that. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys see any photos or videos on Twitter, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. Still got broad circulation near Fremont in North Carolina. Again, continuing to move to the north. Continue to stay in your safe place if you're in that warning. Still got the tornado warning going towards Henderson. Let's check out the velocities on the terminal radar site. Still broad rotation right now. West of Route 1, moving to the north towards Interstate 85. So if you are, again, any of these tornado warnings, just continue to stay in that safe place. Aside from that, though, again, a lot of the rotation that we've been seeing has not been too concerning so far. But I would say the one that might have a shot at doing something crazy would be this area here near Fremont. A lot more rotation there compared to anything else that we're looking at on radar. So that will basically be impacting central eastern parts of North Carolina over the next couple of hours near Wilson, Greenville, Goldsboro, and Rocky Mount. Were there any tornadoes in Florida or just hurricane damage? I don't know if we've had any tornadoes confirmed yet from yesterday, but we've at least, I mean, there's definitely been hurricane damage. I'm not sure yet about tornadoes, though. Thank you, Amy, for the super chat. Let's check back in on the Bryson City, North Carolina camera. If it's... Oh, actually it went out. Looks like Bryson City, North Carolina lost power. Never mind. Guess we're not going back to that camera. Camera has gone out. Ripped the camera. Power outages just continue to ramp up here across the Carolinas. And power outage map currently indicating that we still have around 4 million people without power in the United States. We're now under 950,000 without power in Florida, so that number continues to drop. And Big Bend, worst area in terms of power outages. Georgia has basically exactly 1 million without power. Customers out nearly exactly 1 million, which is crazy. I think South Carolina, again, has the most power outages out of any state, which is pretty crazy. Over 1.25 million without power in South Carolina. North Carolina, currently dealing with 800,000 without power. Virginia, 185,000 without power. Tennessee and Kentucky ramping up. Kentucky's up to 150,000 without power due to the strong winds this morning into the early afternoon. And then Ohio is actually getting power outages. Hamilton County has a little bit of some power outages happening there. So we actually are getting some power outages even up into Ohio now. And then West Virginia also has some power outages, but they've been pretty isolated thus far. We had some power flashes in southeastern Ohio. Yeah, I mean, again, the wind gusts are upwards of 45 to, 45 to 55 miles per hour, even at times over 60. So I'm not really too surprised by the wind. This is actually a resort cam's view in downtown Helene, Georgia. Look at the, you can actually see the water flowing here as well in that river. And there's plenty of people with umbrellas too. It's a live view here, the downtown area. Still raining. Thank you, Andrew, for the super chat. Brandon Kopic, I think, will be live here soon for storm chasing. And then I think DL from Storm Media, I think, will be live, possibly. If he's not live publicly, he's at least gonna be live for members. No, he'll be live. He'll be live for a public stream. And whenever this stream does end, we are gonna raid Storm Media. Yeah, the stream's not ending anytime soon, but later on. I don't know what that town is, but it looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. It's like a pretty cool town. Out a little bit here. Yeah, fill my water bottle. Unsubscribing, lame. The questions you answer are irrelevant and annoying, and the info you provide is basic. And Wendy tells me so much more. That's 10 times, but you are focused on questions about you. Oh no. Well, I'm gonna be honest. If I answer your question, you are pretty lucky because there's 7,600 people that are watching, and I usually get like at least 100 comments like every minute. So. Bruh. Copycat hurricane next week. Again, I don't think we're gonna have. It's too hard to tell. We might have a hurricane next week, but I don't think it's gonna be the exact same. Next week's, if we get a hurricane in the Gulf next week, it's gonna be way slower than this one because we're not gonna have anything really steering it. Hey Smith for the super chat. I love how Max's hairline looks like Helene's eye wall. This is not an airport. You do not have to announce your departure. Thank you, Liam, for the super chat as well. Ramadan, appreciate you tuning in. Velocities continue to weaken on this northern tornado warning, and the other tornado warning has been canceled. So we still have some broad circulation, but it's mostly just wind at this point. How's it going, Cliff? Oh man. All right. How's it going, AX? Welcome back. Or Axe. Thank you. Appreciate it. I just got my wisdom teeth out. You know, my wisdom teeth thing, I think it happened a couple years ago. It actually went pretty smoothly. Didn't really have any pain other than like the first day. I got pretty lucky.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We have a new tornado warning for Mecklenburg, in Virginia. That is near Chase City. And they've also just gone ahead and canceled the other tornado warning. But broad circulation just south of Chase City near Boynton, Clarksville, moving towards Skipwith. If you are in this warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, and an interior room of your home or building. We do not have a great radar view on this, but there's going to be some rotation associated with this low-topped area of storm activity moving north, going towards Chase City. So seek shelter if you are in that warning. These tornado warning buzzes are louder than today. Are they? I don't think so. I didn't change the audio. The audio should be the same as yesterday. There just might be more stuff was happening yesterday, so maybe that's why. Might be why. Do you think Helene will be the last major hurricane for North America this season? It's hard to say. I feel like we'll have one more hurricane make landfall in the United States this year, at least one more. But who knows if it's gonna be major or not? It's just hard to tell. We're probably gonna have at least one more major hurricane somewhere, but where that is very unknown. I think there's a pretty good chance that we at least get something back over in the main development region. This is the latest GFS model run. It just came in, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. This literally just came in, so you guys haven't seen this yet probably. So this is currently indicating we have a little tropical storm developing, which that's Joyce already has developed. Might have something behind that develop. And then also we're watching for another CAG storm, the GFS model, barely showing now a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico next week. And it just kind of sits there. This low pressure system behind Joyce might actually become a major hurricane, but again, we don't really know yet. But that might become something big. GFS model thinks that becomes a major hurricane. And then after that, looks pretty quiet. But yeah, we might get another CAG storm, and it's a 30% chance of development over the next 7 days. The GFS model has been kind of here and there. The first few runs, it showed a major hurricane, or even a big hurricane, at least in the Gulf. And now the most recent runs just showing a small tropical storm. The good news about whatever does develop is that it's probably going to be a very small storm. It's not going to be as large as Helene. Many reasons why, but more than likely, if we get something that develops, it'll be a much smaller hurricane or storm, so meaning the impacts will be more localized, I think. But again, we don't really know yet because nothing's developed, so, and it's still a low chance it develops. Thank you, Amber, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, we still have broad rotation going towards Chase City, Virginia. Aside from that, though, again, most of everything that we're seeing is wind. I honestly think we might get a tornado somewhere up in here at some point. Near Rocky Mount or Tarboro or Bethel, North Carolina. So wait and see, though. Friendly reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the red button down below and subscribe. Like the stream. Don't forget, you can join our Discord server, link in the description. We're also on Twitter and as well as on Facebook at MaxVelocityWX. And if you see any photos or videos on Twitter today that you want me to see, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. This is the latest from the National Weather Service of Greenville and Spartanburg of South Carolina in terms of rainfall accumulation. These are the 3-day totals of rain in this region. So this is like southwestern North Carolina and upstate South Carolina. There were several areas over 20 inches of rain in this stretch here. 20 inches of rain, 22 inches of rain, 23 inches of rain fell. Just unbelievable. Most of that area from upstate South Carolina into North Carolina saw at least around 12 to 16 inches, though. Unbelievable. Crazy stuff. There are some showers developing just off to the west of Cary. We aren't expecting any tornadic activity out of this, just for the record, but again, don't be caught off guard if you're back over near Cary or Raleigh. A little bit more rain coming your way. Flash flood emergency for Atlanta is no longer ongoing. They still have a flash flood emergency for 13 more minutes east of Brookhaven, west of Snellville. I don't think we have any live cameras in that area. We're going to try to see if there's any view of anything on any of these other cameras. This is one view just north of Atlanta. Still some gusty winds in the area. Just trying to see if we have any view of flooding or anything. Pretty wet. Again, moist. Very moist out here. The Forsyth County School. So that school looks closed because I didn't see any cars there. Clouds are moving pretty quickly. Again, very fast moving cloud layer at the low levels. Very windy, obviously. This is a golf course. Very windy, rainy. Golf course is probably closed. I don't think Atlanta got hit that hard. Again, the eye actually went further east than forecasted. So I think the eye kind of missed that area. Here's a football field out here in Rabin County High School in northeast Georgia. Still raining here a little bit, but starting to wind down. But yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina honestly got hit hard when it comes to flooding and also power outages. Florida got slightly lucky when it comes to power outages. They weren't nearly as bad as, you know, forecasted. They were still pretty bad, just not nearly as widespread, I would say. The sailboat still hanging on by a thread on the Radar Omega Mesovort back over in Carabel, Florida. Thank you, BM, for the super chat. I'll check that out in a second. Yeah, Chicago winds will pick up throughout the day, but again, it won't be too significant. We'll get more windy later today. I will be retweeting photos and videos on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. Make sure to go follow me over there. Posting updates over on there. Here's a little loop from the Radar Omega Twitter page of Hurricane Helene in motion, if you guys would like to see that. This is a little time lapse on radar. Pretty fascinating to see that. Let's go back to that tornado warning. In Patrick Springs, Virginia. Let me check that real quick. Patrick Springs, you are pretty much... You're very close to being done with this tornado threat. I'd say it's very low from here on out. Just have a tornado action plane ready to go. I don't see anything really that concerning. There's some broad rotation east of Stewart, but nothing that needs to be tornado warned in my opinion right now. And this rotation on the one tornado warning in Virginia looks pretty broad. Honestly, I think the main concern right now is going to be back over here in North Carolina. I'm starting to see a couple of notches. We got a little one near Wilson now, so we might get a tornado warning near Elm City. We'll see. Okay. What was I about to do? I had something in my head and I forgot. Oh yeah, let me look real quick at this. Alright, velocities are coming in. We'll see what the latest scan shows and see if that rotation's increased or not. You check the power outage map? I literally just showed it like 10 minutes ago, but yeah, we'll look again in a minute. Waiting for this velocity scan to come in. Hope West Virginia gets much needed rain from this. West Virginia is going to get some rain over the next like 24 hours. I don't think it's going to be a lot unless you're in like southern or western parts of West Virginia, but it will definitely be beneficial for sure. So they have actually issued a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible label on, I think, this storm here. That's for Halifax, Wilson. Yeah, Halifax, Wilson, Edgecombe, Wayne, and Nash counties, and that's 60-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado possible label. Makes sense. Again, we got a pretty significant wind threat here near Wilson, and then you know, we're gonna be watching for a potential for an isolated tornado as this continues to move to the northeast. So makes sense to me. Might issue a tornado warning down the road, but for the time being, they have made it a severe thunderstorm warning. I am retweeting another video on Twitter of, again, more flooding on the Chattahoochee River in Roswell, Georgia. It's pretty crazy. Thank you, Dahans, for the $5 super chat. 1,000 without power and tornado damage reported in Sampson County, North Carolina. Sampson County. I don't know if we're alive for this or not. In Clinton. Oh, yeah, actually, there was a tornado report. 11:24. This is when we went live, just before, or just around when we went live. Helltown Road blocked by trees and power lines. Likely tornado there, right on the edge there. Of also going towards Clinton, but right in Bladen County. So that would make sense. Let's go to the power outage map. That's what it looks like for power outages. Again, Florida is still dropping. Again, power is getting restored pretty nicely right now in Florida. We're now down to only about 900,000 without power, compared to the over 1 million that we had when we started the stream. Georgia is now under 1 million without power, so that's dropping as well, slowly but surely. Again, basically the entire eastern tier of Georgia is without power. And again, this is all according to poweroutage.us. South Carolina, 1.25 million currently without power. So again, it's all across western and central parts of South Carolina. And then also back up into North Carolina, still under 1 million without power, but these power outages continue to go up. Sampson County, you can see here, has that 1,000 people without power, so that kind of adds up with the you know, power outages that we've had here, or that adds up with that report that we had in the chat about that possible tornado. And then Virginia currently about 190,000 without power, especially on the western side of the state. Kentucky continues to increase, still looking at over 150,000 without power in Kentucky. And then Tennessee, nearly 100,000 without power right now in Tennessee, but mostly on the northeastern side of the state. And then West Virginia and Ohio starting to ramp up. West Virginia with 57,000 without power. And again, there's a lot of trees in these areas, so you know, if one tree falls, power is going to go out pretty much. And then Ohio, 14,000 without power, mostly in the southern side of the state for now. So, and about 4 million people still without power across the country. So power outages do continue to be a problem. How's the tornado threat look for Roanoke, Virginia? Roanoke is probably done at this point. I think it's mostly just going to be a little bit more rain, and that's it from here on out. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a tornado warning near the Woolwine area, near Haycock and Pizarro in Virginia. I wouldn't be surprised. Get a tornado warning there. A little bit of rotation on that storm. Raleigh, North Carolina is pretty much done with the tornado threat today. Pretty much done with everything. We're actually starting to see some lightning on this band of thunderstorm activity now, and we are still seeing rotation near Rocky Mount going towards Tarboro in North Carolina. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a tornado warning on that soon, as that continues to move east-northeast. Is Helene still spinning like a hurricane? Not really. It's been kind of losing its structure. This one looks like on satellite. If you're curious about satellite right now, it's just a large blob of cloud cover. It's literally what it is. You can see it spinning a little bit in here, but yeah, it's literally just a big blob of cloud cover. So it looks like on infrared imagery. It's just a broad area of spin at this point. It's probably about to be a post-tropical cyclone by the next update, if it isn't already. So yeah, this will more than likely be a post-tropical cyclone here pretty soon. But yeah, nothing like yesterday. Nothing like yesterday. I mean, you can go back 250 frames. I'm not sure if it'll bring us back to that point, but let's see if it will. I'm not sure if it'll bring us back to landfall. I don't think it will, but we'll see how far back this goes. Thank you, Culture. I appreciate that. Yeah, we hit 400,000 subscribers yesterday, and we're about to hit 405,000. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Alright, this thing's almost loaded up. Any new updates on the next possible storm in the Gulf? Again, watch my video from today. I talk all about it. Here's the evolution here of Helene. This is 250 frames. It's a little slow, but it's all in motion over the last, basically, 18 hours or so. Made landfall around 11 o'clock last night. And this is, after about this point here is when we got off air. Right about here. And so after this point, this is all kind of new stuff that you may have not seen last night. You can just see how the eye continues to move inland. Convection's still bursting around the eye too, which is kind of crazy inland. But not associated with intensification. And kind of see how, again, look at the eye. It went really far to the east. Like, it kept going towards Augusta. That's why we just saw so many more impacts over here in South Carolina. We didn't expect it to go this far to the east. And then, again, kind of bronze out into this large, low pressure system, essentially, now as the Fujiwara effect takes over. So, that is a full-blown 250 frame loop of Hurricane Helene. So I have a tornado warning for Chase City, Virginia. Continue to stay in your safe place if you're in that area. Thank you, Tux, for the super chat. Yeah, there's dam failures imminent in many places. Lake Lure, I think is what it's called in North Carolina, was imminent. So if you're anywhere near those lake dam or near those dam failures, you need to make sure that you are evacuating if you are ordered to do so. Staying off the roadways too if you're in a flash flood emergency, or at least avoiding those, you know, flooded roadways would be key at this point. Is this the start of 7 hours of commercial-free hurricane coverage? No. we're not going to be live for 7 hours. We'll probably be live at most today, or at most we're going to be live for 3 hours. That might be a stretch, but we've been live for about 2 hours so far, so. But we'll see what happens. If it still remains concerning past, you know, 2 o'clock or whatever, we'll still be here. Hair's looking good. Thank you. We need an Octobox? Oh man, dude. That'd be kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Imagine we had like an Octobox and stuff like that. Oh man. That'd be absolutely crazy.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We do have a new tornado warning for Wilson, Edgecombe, and Nash counties in North Carolina, which is this area of rotation that we've been looking at for a little bit. So if you are in this warning, near Sharpsburg, Rocky Mount, Dorches, Battleboro, near Interstate 95, seek shelter. That's again moving northeast. Seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building. How often do you usually stream? Whenever the weather's significant enough for us to be live. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go live for a marginal threat for tornadoes when there's only one tornado warning. I mean, like that, unless it's something significant. I only usually go live for significant stuff. I mean, today, I was on the cusp of going live this morning. When we got to 7 tornado warnings, I was like, all right, I'm going to go live. But honestly, if it was like this, what we're seeing now, I probably wouldn't be live because it's just not significant enough. In my opinion. I don't really have a threshold or anything like that for going live. It's just, if it looks concerning enough, I go live pretty much. So it's just on a case-by-case basis. So yeah, I mean, I've gone live for marginal tornado threats before, but I've started to raise my like threshold for going live because I don't want to go live for absolutely everything that's like, you know, small. So I'm not going to go live for a 60-mile-per-hour wind event that's happening, and you know, with 7 different severe thunderstorm warnings. Like, I used to do that, but I just can't do that anymore. It's just not. It's not really that I feel like needed. Broad circulation right now over Sharpsburg, going towards Rocky Mount on the latest scan. We'll have another radar update here in a couple minutes. Let's go, Naomi. Max is getting too big for us. That's not what it is. It's just there is a certain point where you can't go live for everything that's like, you know, small. You know, I feel like we need to go live for stuff that's at least somewhat significant. So, no. And I also don't want to be, you know, live when nothing, like literally nothing's happening. Like we have nothing, like even if we have a tornado warning, there's like barely any rotation, you know, so. Latest scan, still showing some broad rotation near Sharpsburg, going towards Rocky Mount, and it'll be approaching Route 64 in North Carolina. I've been doing live streams and videos on YouTube for a little over 2 years, but I've been doing live streams in general since Facebook, back in like 2019-ish. So I've been kind of doing this for like 5 years, but we didn't really start doing this that consistently until 2022. So, I mean, in 2022, we went live for a lot of stuff, including small stuff. 2023 went live for a lot of stuff as well, but mostly at least slight risks. And then this year we've gone live for a lot of stuff too, and it's been a range. Again, we've gone live for days that only have 2% tornado risks that are a marginal threat, like the Maryland tornado outbreak, for example, that happened literally back a few months ago. We went live for that. That was only a marginal threat. So again, it just really is a case-by-case basis on if it's significant enough. We've been live a couple of days this year where there hasn't really been anything that's happened. And, I mean, again, in nature, like, you know, it's not a big deal. Sometimes, again, forecast, like a lot of those were just because forecasts didn't really pan out as forecasted, essentially. But yeah. Thank you, Smith, for the super chat. Yeah, a random PDS tornado warning would warrant a live stream as long as I'm here. If I'm like out and about, it wouldn't. I mean, I was with Freddie McKinney, for example, back in August. He was here. He was staying here for like a couple nights, and Connor was here too, but Freddie was here after Debbie, and there was a random PDS tornado warning in Delaware, and me and Freddie were at Blaze Pizza, and all of a sudden I was like, dude, I might have to like race back to my studio to go live for this, and all of a sudden the warning went away. I don't know if that ever actually produced a tornado, but it was one of the most random PDS tornado warnings ever. It happened like a day or two after landfall of Debbie, so it was quite strange. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible label near Kinston and Snow Hill. A little broad circulation. But again, mainly watching that rotation near Sharpsburg right now. Thank you, Michelle, for the super chat. Is it not on Discord? Do I not have my velocities color thing on Discord? Should be there. It's the latest scan. Still rotating for sure near Rocky Mount, moving north. So instead of Contori showing up in your town, if Max has your town on radar, you're screwed. I guess so. It's only reflectivity? Okay. Message me on Discord or something. And remind me to add velocities. I'll try to do it at some point this weekend. My mic volume is really low. I think that's cap. Did I ever go to bed last night? Yes. I went to bed at like 2. I got up at 10. So we got some solid sleep last night, I would say. A little bit better than yesterday, but tomorrow we're gonna get even better sleep. Or tonight, I should say, we're gonna get better sleep. I'm sleeping probably 10 hours tonight. Easily 10 hours. Did I get McDonald's? No, I've actually eaten like nothing today. I barely had anything last night. I had like 6 chicken nuggets after my stream last night. I put some chicken nuggets into the air fryer, and that was it. And then today I've eaten nothing. I've had a chocolate milk and some iced tea. So we're running off like nothing. But I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm basically running off nothing right now. So, yeah. It's good times. It's back over to the Myrtle Beach live camera right now. And in South Carolina. This on resort cams as well. Thank you, Wazzy, for the $5 super chat. Want to help your tech upgrades. What is on your wish list? I mean, I don't have a wish list, but I'm trying to think what our next upgrade is going to be. How can I contact you? You can contact me on Discord. You can email me. Feel free to email me. That's probably the easiest way. Email's in the description. Or Facebook or Twitter, but I'm not very responsive on those. But Discord or on email's the best way. I'm trying to think, though. I don't know what our next upgrade is going to be. We need to get a new power. We need to get a power supply in case we do lose power for our computer. That's one thing. I thought about getting that for yesterday's stream, but we never got it. We're going to get a new face cam too soon. I'm not sure how expensive that's going to be, but we're going to get a more high quality face cam. Because the face cam we have right now, it just is too glitchy. Has too little pixels sometimes. Thank you, Demon, for the $5 super chat. What's the power issue looking like today? Power outages are significant right now. Across the board. We have over 4 million without power. Majority of them are in either Georgia, Florida, or in South Carolina. So 800, just under 900,000 without power in Florida. Nearly 1 million without power in Georgia, and then over 1 million without power in South Carolina. North Carolina, just under 1 million without power. Tennessee, 100,000 without power. Kentucky, almost up to 200,000 without power. Ohio, 17,000. West Virginia, 59,000. And then Virginia, over 200,000 now without power. Just got my power back last night in Jacksonville. Nice. It's the latest radar scan. Still have a tightening of rotation right over Rocky Mount. We might get a tornado here. Velocity should update here in a second. Rocky Mount in North Carolina. Here's the latest scan. Yeah, it's still pretty. We at least have. We still have rotation for sure, right over the downtown area of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. It's currently moving off to the northeast as we speak. Hey, B Smith for the super chat. I don't know. We have not hired anybody though. Power generator for Max Kickstarter. Imagine we got a generator. I mean, I'm not right now, like, I don't know how many employees Ryan has, but he has a lot. I mean, we have none. And we're able to do what we do with nobody, which is kind of crazy. I still think if we add people, it'll help, for sure, with quality and stuff. But I think we might add somebody in the future for, like, maybe either relaying information or potentially being somebody like that's on screen. Maybe when I take, like, a 10-minute break or a 5-minute break to eat or something, like, maybe somebody like that. It's very possible that we do something like that. So we'll see. I mean, if that happens, it won't be until next year. But I'm definitely considering something like that in the future. I mean, we've literally, I mean, up until May, we only had one storm chaser. Now we have like over a dozen that are on our, list now. And so, yeah, we've been expanding pretty rapidly, obviously, this summer. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens after this. What happened in the Cowboys game last night, by the way? Did the Cowboys lose or something? The Cowboys won. Okay. They won by 5 points. I didn't watch I didn't even know I barely knew there was a football game last night. We were so busy with the hurricane. All right, here's the latest scan. Still got some strong rotation on the north side now of Rocky Mount. Still not seeing a debris signature or anything like that. Near High Meadows, going towards Battleboro, near I-95 in North Carolina. I am mad that we won. Wow. They looked like trash, but they won. Gotcha. Daniel Jones threw a typical interception to lose. That guy's chalked. He got paid way too much, dude. Warning has been updated. It is still radar indicated. No reports on this warning, but still got rotation. It's really embedded in like this area right here. It's kind of interesting. It's embedded inside of the storm. It's fully rain wrapped. Who's my first storm chaser? Vince Walty was our first one back in, I think that started back in May of 2023, and then it ended in the late summer, early fall of that year. And then Connor Croft was our second one. That started in September, and we had him. That was our only storm chaser for a while, up until May. And then we got Storm Intermedia, and then we got, I think, PA Storm Trackers, and then we got a few others. Basically kept going up from there, so yeah. But we've been with Connor now for just over a year now when it comes to having him on our streams. Started September 21st of 2023. Bro, Gizmo, you're not becoming a mod. Do you only cover the East Coast? No, we do not just cover the East Coast. We cover all the United States. We do talk about Hawaii sometimes, if there's something significant happening. We got a tight signature here right over Rocky Mount. We may have a tornado on the ground right now. No CC drop, but we do have a tight little velocity signature over the north side of Rocky Mount. May have a tornado right now trying to drop, or might be on the ground. I just realized our cameras were paused. Oopsie. Alright. I have to replace the other camera because that one went out. I think Connor had too much caffeine last night. I don't think that guy drinks. He doesn't drink any soda. I know that. I don't know what he drinks. Just drinks water, I think. WJD. Do I cover winter storms? I do. There was a lot of people complaining in chat last night about Connor. I saw that. I don't know why. I mean, you know, I felt like he was fine with what he was doing. And he was like, he wasn't like, you know, for the most part, he wasn't just standing out in the open, like, you know, about to get hit by debris or something. Another velocity scan should be coming in here in a second. Got another retweet coming in on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. You guys should definitely check it out. We got serious flooding over in serious flooding back over in Boone, North Carolina. There is like literally water coming off the mountains and surging, hitting cars. Go check out the video on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. It's pretty crazy. Thank you to Hans for becoming a Maximum Velocity member. Welcome to the Velocities. Alright, we have a tornado. It's gonna be over the north side of Rocky Mount. Waiting for the CC to update. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate that. How's it going, John? I don't know why the velocities aren't updating. I have a little bit of rotation near Goldsboro again. Got a little bit of rotation kind of up and down again, this band of showers and thunderstorms. I do think the tornado risk again is going to be lowered after about 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, but for the time being, we do still have at least some low-end tornado threat for the next few hours. Let's check in on that sailboat again while we wait for that radar scan. Carabel, Florida, that sailboat's still there. Hasn't sunk. It looks like it's still trying to sink, but it's still there. Again, I think it's propped up to something there on that bridge. It's the only reason why it's still floating. Lake Alert Dam is about to fail mandatory evacuation. That is true.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
All right, we do now officially have a tornado that is on the ground, and that is why. Tight velocities. CC signature is over the north side of Rocky Mount. This is a radar-confirmed tornado in North Carolina. So if you are in this warning, seek shelter. Away from windows, lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. This is now, again, a radar-confirmed tornado in North Carolina. Very tight velocities. Again, that is your tornado right over Swelton Heights. There might... we can't confirm it yet, but that might even be a debris signature on velocities. I'm waiting for the CC and velocities to update. This is for Edgecombe and Nash counties, north side of Rocky Mount. Right near Route 301. It's going to be approaching Drake, Phillips Crossroads, Cherry Crossroads, Whittakers, Taylor Crossroads, Hickory, all gonna be in the track of this. Whoa! All right, we got a big time tornado. This is not a small tornado, possibly a large and strong tornado on the ground near High Meadows, 301, approaching Drake. This is a potentially large tornado. You need to be in your safe place. Big debris signature. This is not what you want to see. This could go PDS. There's a very tight, obviously, velocity signature. That is a debris signature for sure. Right over the north side of Rocky Mount. That is one of the larger debris signatures that I've seen in a long time, ever since probably like the spring or even summer. Is right over North Green. This is hitting a lot of homes and buildings near North Green and High Meadows, going towards Phillips Crossroad. It's near 301, near Highway 4. That right there, again, is your tornado. And this is the scan before, by the way. The evolution. Tornado's just growing in size right now near North Green and 301. It's currently moving towards Battleboro in North Carolina. It's a big-time tornado right now. And this is currently moving off to the north. A tornado is pretty much stalled right over North Green and High Meadows right now. Our next CC update should come in here in a second. So as of 2 minutes ago, though, this tornado relatively large in size. That's all debris just being lifted up into the atmosphere. Here's the latest scan. Yeah, that CC signature is just growing in size, and that tornado is literally just sitting here right over North Green, near Route 301, near Grayson Road, Fenner Road, and Thomas A. Belts Parkway. So if you know any friends or family in this area, make sure they're okay, because this is a pretty serious debris signature. Again, we don't usually get debris signatures like this. Pretty significant tornado right now near High Meadows. It's in North Carolina, again, if you're just tuning in. The size of this debris signature is about almost 2 miles wide from southwest to northeast, and even the other way, it's about 2 miles wide for a debris signature. Doesn't mean the tornado is that large, but obviously it's a relatively significant tornado. Latest velocity scan not showing any sort of crazy, like, rotation. So hopefully this tornado, hopefully the debris that we're seeing is just what we just saw. Hopefully there's still not a tornado in progress. Again, still a really large debris signature for what we're seeing here in North Carolina. Thank you, David, for coming a member. Thank you, Step, for the $10 super chat. Not doing too shabby. This again for those in Edgecombe and Nash counties in North Carolina. I don't think this is going to go PDS unless this signature, unless we continue to see a tornado. I don't see any sort of crazy rotation here, though. Like, this happened for a few minutes. This was quick. I'm not seeing any definitive area of rotation right now, but as of 1 minute ago, we still have a lot of debris. So either there is still a tornado, or two, this is just a fallout. Yeah, we still have a large debris signature right over the east side of High Meadows. Here's the latest scan on reflectivity. We'll wait for the next CC update. Just north of Rocky Mount, North Carolina is where, again, we have a tornado in progress. Got a 2 mile wide debris signature on radar, which is crazy. PDS would mean particularly dangerous situation. It's the second highest level of a tornado warning. We do have a new radar scan coming in right now, so we'll see what it looks like. Scans coming in as we speak. Hopefully this is smaller, and hopefully this is weakening. Alright, latest scan showing a smaller debris signature, but still a possible tornado, probably still a tornado right over here near 301. This is near the Thomas A. Betts Parkway. Homes and looks like maybe businesses being impacted by this. Again, this is not a small, like, little area. This is like an actual, like, city. And this is kind of the suburbs of that city. So, I mean, there's probably been some pretty significant damage that's just been dealt here near 301. And tropical tornadoes, they can be unpredictable. And that one, I mean, we've been talking about this for like an hour, though, that this would probably produce something, and it actually did. Unfortunately, it produced something that looks like on the larger side of things. That's, again, a debris signature, and we don't usually get debris signatures this deep, especially with tropical cyclones, but hopefully everybody over there in North Green and High Meadows is okay. Again, this tornado warning does continue for 4 more minutes. This is, again, for those in Edgecombe and Nash counties in North Carolina. Another radar scan in a moment. It passed me. Hope my cousin's okay, though. Yeah, if you know any friends or family in that warning, just make sure they're okay. I mean, the main area that was just impacted by this, again, was right here. I'll put it back into motion, but it was basically North Green. It started near Swelton Heights. It really blew up in size right over near North Green and the southeast side of High Meadows. And went right up 301. We still do have a debris signature, but I'm guessing that what's left of this is probably just debris fallout. Continue to stay in your safe place if you are in this warning. This is in North Carolina, again, if you're just tuning in. We could see this recycle, by the way. We do have a rotation up here that's beginning to develop, so we could see this recycle as that moves towards Enfield. So we might actually get another tornado out of this. We'll have to watch that very closely. Did I eat last night? Not really. I had like 6 chicken nuggets. Another radar scan will be coming in here in just a moment. The flash flood emergency in Johnson County, Tennessee has been extended. So if you're in Johnson County, still a tornado emergency there. Police scanner confirms tornado touchdown in Rocky Mount, major damage. That is not good. Let's see. I'm gonna see if there's any reports on this. I mean, seeing somebody saying major damage in Rocky Mount. The debris signature has gone away. We are watching for this to recycle and perhaps drop another tornado. Just to the south of Enfield. If you see any reports on Twitter or photos or videos at me at MaxVelocityWX.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
They have issued a new tornado warning for Halifax and Edgecombe counties. They are issuing this because this storm could recycle and drop another tornado as that moves towards Enfield. So if you are in this pink polygon, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building. Not really strong right now, but it could develop into something. The initial tornado has occluded, but we are, again, from what I've heard so far in the chat, is that there is some major damage, but I can't confirm that quite yet because we just don't have any like photos or videos or actual reports from the area quite yet. There's a semi-truck at least that's flipped over in Rocky Mount from this tornado. That did happen. Not seeing anything officially yet though. And again, if you were just tuning, or if you are just tuning in, the tornado that did happen, it's no longer on the ground now, but the one that just did happen moments ago was on the north side of Rocky Mount near North Green and High Meadows in a very populated community, lots of homes there, very deep debris signature, which likely indicates that we had a strong tornado just hit this area near 301 High Meadows and North Green, and more than likely have some pretty significant damage there. Good news, it wasn't on the ground very long, but the bad news, it had a very populated area right near the Wesleyan Boulevard and just around Thomas A. Betts Parkway near Gold Rock Road, Ferner Road, and Grayson Road, again in North Green. So, yeah, if you know any friends or family there, make sure that they're okay. We've more than likely just had a strong tornado hit that area. Then there's already been some reports coming out, and we'll probably continue to get some reports here over the next little while as well. All right, we also have we have two more updates here. Flash flood emergency is going to continue in Carter and Unity counties in Tennessee. And the other update is now Helene is a tropical depression. It is no longer a tropical storm. Helene is now down to a tropical depression. It is still producing historic and catastrophic flooding over portions of southeast and southern Appalachians. And our tornado warning that has been issued here is for the potential for this to recycle and drop another tornado near Enfield, west of Scotland Neck in North Carolina. So yeah, if you are in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place. And we are starting to see major damage, it looks like, in Rocky Mount. There is a... I'm going to be retweeting photos on Twitter. There are I can't really tell what, again, this is very early. This happened literally within the last 10 minutes, so it's early reports, but it looks like some sort of brick building structure got hit pretty hard. There's like a lot of bricks on the ground, and then there's also looks like a lot of tree damage in that northern side of Rocky Mount. All right. By the way, it is a tropical depression. Maximum sustained winds at 35 miles per hour. That's the latest update. See the next velocity scan shows here in a second. Lots of mobile homes in that area too. Well, that's even worse. I'm not sure what's exactly there, but if it's mobile homes, that's even worse. That is not a good thing. Mobile homes are literally the most immune to that sort, or basically not the least immune, I should say, to that stuff. Lee Smith, by the way, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. And this is as of 4 minutes ago. Confirmed tornado in Rocky Mount, or north side of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Police scanner reporting major damage. So, police scanner reporting major damage in the north side there of Rocky Mount. We also have an extension to the flash flood emergency in Carter and Unity counties in Tennessee. So that's still ongoing. And we still do have a total of 18 flash flood emergencies across mostly western North Carolina, southwestern Virginia, and upstate South Carolina. Any storm chasers? No. There's not. I highly doubt, unless there's like local storm chasers, there's not going to be any storm chasers out here. Because, you know, again, this is like a... This is more of a... I mean, again, we had a hurricane landfall yesterday. Most people went for that instead of this. Most people were there for the landfall. You guys see any reports again on Twitter about this? At me on Twitter. I'm trying to relay some information here about this. Thank you, Stephanie, for the $5 super chat. Unity County is bad. The hospital is flooded. People are on the roof and can't be rescued. It's Unicoi. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, stay safe. Rotation's still ongoing near 33. This is a much more rural area of North Carolina, but if you are in the warning, obviously stay in your safe place as this continues to move northeast. Report of 3 buildings completely destroyed north of Rocky Mount. I haven't seen anything like that yet, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if that is true. I'm retweeting more photos as well about this flooding thing in Irwin, Tennessee as well. Thank you, Soundside, for the super chat. Let me look where that is. Water spouts near this area. You might get some with this activity, but it's probably gonna be a few hours, or at least like an hour or two until that actually happens near that area. So low end chance for water spouts or fish nados. I'll have another velocity scan in a second. Our local news just stated that 2 people were trapped in a fallen building. Thank you, James, for the super chat. Yeah, unfortunately, I do think that, you know, the damage here is probably pretty significant. Again, I'm seeing some initial photos from the local news station there on Twitter, which, again, if you want to see those photos, it's on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. But, again, we're probably going to know more here over the next little while. But, again, it's very early on. Again, this tornado literally just happened, like, not even that long ago. It literally this started at 1:32. 20 minutes ago is when it started. It's on the ground for about 5 minutes or so. really hit this area hard. North of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So this may have been I think it was a strong tornado, but, well, again, wait and see on the survey later today, or tonight, or tomorrow. Chad, I talked about it in today's video, so watch the video today. Thank you, Echo, for the 3-month membership. Appreciate it. Is it recycling? It's trying to. It's not really strong right now, but we are seeing still some rotation here. I think it's going to struggle a little bit more this time around to produce a tornado with how much convection just around it, but could see something. We also have a little bit of rotation near Greenville in North Carolina that's developing. Aside from that, I'm not really seeing much. Radar hasn't updated in like 7 minutes, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Northern radar still updating, but it doesn't have as great of a view as the other one. Scanner just reported possibly 15 people injured. Wow. Hopefully that's not true. Wow. This tornado was big. Oh, never mind. That's not the right tornado. Just kidding. That was... Dude, don't add me in something that's like a year old on Twitter. Please. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was big. I just don't have any video of it as of right now. I don't know if we're gonna have video of this either, because it was a rain-wrapped tornado. Like, this was all wrapped in rain. Hey, Robert, for the super chat. Driving by Rocky Mount now. This sucks. Stay safe, man. Hopefully everybody's okay there. Is the white car still on the bridge? It was the last time we checked. A little while ago. We're not seeing any debris signature as of a couple minutes ago. The velocities haven't updated in 7 minutes. But if there is any tornado, it's going to be approaching, again, Scotland Neck, near Tillery and Spring Hill. Again, pretty rural areas now of North Carolina. We have cameras in Boone, North Carolina. The problem is, I don't think any of them are currently operating because the power went out. The power outages are impacting that area. So... We have cameras, so they're just all out. Thank you, Wolf, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. All right, latest velocity scan's coming in now. We'll see if what it looks like. Do you think some more tornadoes will form for this? I think there will be a potential for maybe a couple or a few more tornadoes throughout the rest of the afternoon, but honestly, again, I still think the risk for tornadoes is going to continue to fall as we go throughout the rest of this afternoon. The tornado watch does go, again, until 6 p.m. for eastern North Carolina, southern Virginia, and northwestern North Carolina. But I honestly think the tornado threat is going to continue to drop quite a bit over the next few hours. I don't think it's going to go up. I really think our peak has been happening like now. I think it's going to drop after about 2:30, 3 o'clock. There's still a little bit of rotation as well back over up in like northwestern North Carolina. Again, these are some of the storms moving into Virginia. Could still see a low-end tornado risk for the next few hours. And then, we're still watching, obviously, this storm. The latest velocity scan is showing much broader rotation. So I wouldn't be surprised if, again, we could still see an isolated tornado out of this as it moves towards Weldon near Enfield. But, yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised, though, if that storm does kind of fizzle out a little bit. The Greenville storm also has some broad circulation, but I'm not seeing anything, again, imminent. At least 15 people injured. as a report, apparently, in Rocky Mount. Alright, I'm gonna look through and see if we have any more reports on that. Three structures are confirmed destroyed in Rocky Mount, according to Random Hero WX on Twitter. There's other reports that are confirming this. Three structures are reportedly destroyed in Rocky Mount. But we're getting reports again of some major damage there. And as we get more reports, we'll let you know. It's the latest as of right now from the tornado that just happened a few minutes ago in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. No problem, crazy. And this tornado warning does continue for Halifax and Edgecombe counties, North Carolina. It does go for approximately another 30 minutes, unless they otherwise cancel it, which they might. There are some photos coming out of Tiffany Square, if you're familiar with that area, in Rocky Mount, the Rocky Mount area. Seeing a lot of just branches down on roadways and stuff in that particular spot. Also some damage to the siding of a building. How's it going, Patty? Here's the latest velocity scan. We'll have a new one in a second. Still rotation your Enfield again, moving north. Could drop another tornado at any time. It's really the main storm right now that we have. That's tornadic. Is there a phone app to view the radar like this? Yes, it is the Radar Omega app. The link's in the description. Near the bottom of the description, there's a link to download. No CC drop as of the latest radar scan, but we'll see what the velocities look like and see if they're either intensifying or continuing to broaden out. Saw someone jaywalking on the Helen, Georgia camera, did you? Alright, here's the latest velocity scan coming in as we speak. And glitched out, but we'll see what the velocities look like once they update. Looked broader, but we'll have to wait and see. Us and Tarboro are really lucky. We just missed it. I'm really shook up. Yeah. A lot of you guys got missed, but unfortunately, this literally just hit like one of the more populated communities here of Rocky Mount. Obviously, it would have been worse if it happened right over the downtown area, but it still happened in, you know, a pretty populated neighborhood community here. So let's see what the velocities look like. Thank you, Cal. There are tons of people trapped on a roof right now in Unicoi County Hospital. I am retweeting the photo on Twitter. It is absolutely a crazy sight. It's unbelievable. Like, literally. You guys gotta see it on Twitter, at MaxVelocityWX. I'm telling you guys, the flooding that's happening is catastrophic back over there in, you know, upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina, and even northeast Georgia. It's awful. One of the worst flooding events that we've ever seen. For whatever reason, the velocities did not update. I don't know why. Velocities have been kind of hit or miss to update, but it did look like it was broadening out on radar. We'll have another radar scan in a second, though. As a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. The velocities did broaden out in the latest scan, so that's good news. I think Charlotte's done with the tornado threat today. Charlotte is done, in my opinion. Looks pretty quiet over there. Again, might get like another passing shower, but you're kind of on the dry side now of what's left of Helene. The only tornado threat that I expect for the rest of today will be mostly in this area going towards the coast of North Carolina. And then back up here, we could still see an isolated tornado threat. But other than that, I think it's winding down. But I do think this tornado warning may just be let to expire or get canceled, because latest velocity scan definitely showing broader rotation at this point. Why was Helene so fast? It was mostly because of the trough. The trough just sped that thing up like crazy. Went very fast with that, so. We're currently 114 subscribers from 405k. Sheesh. Yeah, that water level with that photo on Twitter is crazy. Guys, stop adding me in videos from a year ago, please. There's like 4 of you on Twitter that added me in a Rocky Mount tornado from a year ago. A tornado hit the north side of Rocky Mount, but it was outside. I don't know if this is considered Rocky Mount, but it was in High Meadows and North Green. I think that's just a community, so I think this is technically the north side of Rocky Mount. So, yeah, that was at about 30 minutes ago or so. Thank you, Ryan T, for the $10 donation with the donation link. Appreciate that. Thank you for the generosity. You found me on Instagram. Really? It's kind of crazy. Didn't know people found me through Instagram. I know we have an Instagram account, but why is Max ignoring me? There's 7,000 people in here. I cannot read everything. I'm one person. I do go live sometimes for blizzards and winter storms, but not all the time. Just depends on what it is. Rotation overall broader. Again, I'm not seeing nearly as much circulation. We could still see another tornado with this area south and southwest of Jackson, but it's still relatively broad rotation as that does continue to move to the northeast. They have updated the tornado warning. Again, it's just for Halifax County now in North Carolina. So just continue to stay in your safe place if you're in the warning. Max, talk to 7,000 people at the same time. Imagine? That'd be kind of crazy. Thank you, Reagan, for becoming a 9-month VIP Velocity member. Put some W's in the chat for Reagan. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being a VIP Velocity member. Ignore this message. Sounds good. I just ignored it. Not really. Holding 7,200 conversations at once. Imagine. Dude, there was people mad at me yesterday when I had like 30,000 people watching. Everybody's like, answer my question. I'm like, dude, what do you expect me to do? You want me to have a conversation with everybody in the chat at the same time? I need to duplicate myself for that to happen. Thank you, USA, for the super chat. Golf with Max was a great raffle idea. Maybe. I don't know. Might be an idea. Maybe we do a raffle at some point. Maybe if we hit like 1 million subscribers, I'll do that or something. Or maybe something like for charity. I don't know. I have some ideas for that. Do we have damage estimates? We're probably not going to have a whole lot of damage estimates until, like, a little bit later. And we're really early into the damage of this tornado, so we'll know more later today. As whenever I see photos and videos and stuff, I'll retweet it on Twitter. So again, make sure to follow me there at MaxVelocityWX. The link's also in the description. We'll be posting some updates on there throughout the day today. Thank you, Robin, for the super chat. What is my desktop background? So that's what it is. I'll have another velocity scan here in a moment. All right, here's the latest radar scan. And the velocities are a little bit bugged. We'll have a little bit of rotation north of Greenville. I wouldn't be surprised if they issued a tornado warning on that. It's not a really large area of rotation or strong, but there's a little bit of circulation there going towards Bethel and Robertsonville. So if you're just north of Greenville, continue to stay vigilant. Yeah, rotation again on that tornado warning going towards like Weldon in Halifax County is relatively weak, it seems like, at this point in North Carolina. Continue to stay in your safe place until that warning is officially lifted. Things could change on a dime. No debris signature, though, on anything right now, so no tornadoes currently on the ground. Good news there. Do you know Ryan Hall, y'all? No, never heard of him. Sorry. I can't believe people still ask me that. It's cool Max is showing the live cam of Helene, Georgia. Well, it would be the Bryson City, North Carolina camera, but the camera went out because of the power going out there. Hey, John, man, you're gonna be tweeting that for a long time, bro. I'm not ever changing my profile picture to that. Whatever you just sent me on Twitter. I know who Jeff Petrosky is. He's like the first one to have a Cybertruck storm chasing. I'm the only Ryan as far as I know. Bruh. Alright, new radar scan should be coming out here in a moment. How's it going, Hearts? Another severe thunderstorm warning for Beaufort, Lenoir, Craven, Greene, Pitt, Jones, and Martin counties in North Carolina. 60-mile-per-hour winds and another tornado possible label on that storm. Ryan had a clip from your podcast just last night. What do you mean? A clip from my podcast? I don't know what that means. I don't have a podcast. If I had a podcast, what would I even talk about on a podcast? Cheese curds? Flying trampolines? The Max Podcacity. Oh my goodness, that'd be so funny. That's a crazy good name for that, though. Talk to us why you don't like podcasts. I didn't say I don't like them. I don't have a podcast. Thank you, Mariel, for the $10 super chat. I don't really want to say that, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I don't know, Julie. Unless it might have been like just a video clip that was from like a live camera that I was using, maybe that he had too. I don't know. I'd have to see it though. I don't know what you're talking about exactly.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, new tornado warning for Pennsylvania, Danville counties in Virginia, and then one for Caswell County, North Carolina. I think it's gonna be this one right here. And we're probably gonna see a couple more tornado warnings here in Southern Virginia throughout the day today. The one that we just got issued, I think, is this one though. Yeah, that's Whitfield, west of Danville, near Surrey Hills, Callahan Hills, east of Stony Mill. So if you're in this warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building, as this does continue to move to the north over the next several minutes. Our rotation again near Whitfield, moving northbound. Yeah, we'll probably still see an isolated tornado threat here, especially back up in really just, again, southern parts of Virginia, pretty far south of Roanoke over the next few hours. I think that'll be probably our main concern, honestly. If we look at the future radar here, go to the HRRR and just show you what we're looking at for that tornado risk today. This is the latest model run. And so for the updraft helicity, which basically shows where there'll be rotation, actually had it pretty spot on over near Rocky Mount for that tornado. But basically showing through about 5 or 6 o'clock, that's when the tornado threat's going to start to subside, probably by 4 to 5. So maybe another isolated tornado somewhere up here just south of Richmond, Virginia. And then perhaps something over here on the East Coast. And then, again, maybe an isolated tornado also back over in southwestern Virginia. If we go back a couple runs, too, it shows kind of the same sort of thing. So this tornado threat, again, is probably going to be done by 4 or 5 at the latest. The tornado watch goes until 6, so obviously be weather aware till then. But yeah, I do think the worst of what we've seen has already happened. The worst of what is expected today has already happened. So, in my opinion. We're now up to 34 fatalities from Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene has caused 34 fatalities according to WX Fatalities on Twitter. 12 in Georgia, 11 in South Carolina, 8 in Florida, and 3 in North Carolina. It was at 21 the last time we talked about it, which was like an hour ago. More major damage coming out of the Rocky Mount area. Yeah, there's major damage in Rocky Mount. There was like actual, like legit structure damage. So, unfortunately, it looks like some pretty major damage in Rocky Mount on the north side from that tornado that we had about 45 minutes ago. Halifax is still under a tornado warning. Again, broad circulation continuing to move north. Aside from that, I'm not seeing much here in eastern North Carolina. That's really that tornadic right now. Everything looks really tame for the most part. We have some broad rotation, but nothing like, again, out of the ordinary concerning. We still have that tornado warning again that just got issued back up near Whitfield and Danville moving north, but again, pretty broad for right now. Just continue to stay in your safe place if you're under any sort of tornado warnings today. As a friendly reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the red button down below and subscribe. If 71 of you subscribe right now, we can hit 405,000 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe down below. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure to like the stream as well. How's it going, Pro Magic? Thank you, Joe, for the super chat. Day in Ohio is mostly just gonna be wind. Other than that, a little bit of rain. Actually have a tornado possible label all the way back up here in Huntington in West Virginia into southern Ohio. Might actually see an isolated tornado up in Ohio today. But yeah, it'll be mostly just rain up here. What it looks like right now up there. No, I have not been streaming all night. No. I've not been streaming all night. If I've been streaming all night, that'd be kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. No, I got off at like 1:30 last night, I think, and we got on today at about 11, and we're probably gonna wind down here soon. I'm getting hungry, and I also have class, so good times. "2-mile-per-hour winds in Minnesota." Thank you. Appreciate the report. Yeah, I went without food most of last night. I went live for that entire stream pretty much. I didn't really eat anything. It was very, you know, I didn't eat really anything. I Chipotle at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and after that I didn't really have anything. So I had chicken nuggets at like 1 a.m. last night, and then today I've had a chocolate milk and tea, and that's it. So yeah, it's been interesting. Maybe I get a steak dinner for tonight. Maybe I go to Longhorn Steakhouse or something. Get a little steak dinner going. A little steak action. After this marathon of coverage on Hurricane Helene, I might need it. Longhorn is gross. Wow. That's not very nice. I think it's pretty good. I've literally eaten nothing. I've basically eaten nothing, though, for the last, like, 24 hours. It's not really a bad thing, technically, because, I mean, like, almost like fasting in a way, but... Still have the tornado warning now for, again, just Virginia. Just got updated. Only for Virginia now. Again, rotation's broadening out quite a bit near Danville. Got a little bit of rotation near Eden. Going north as well. That might get tornado warned here soon. But aside from that, again, I'm not really seeing much on radar that looks that concerning. But a little bit of rotation still near Weldon as well. That storm that initially produced that tornado. But, yeah. Skytor, it's a water bottle. I'm getting a new water bottle because I keep getting asked that. I don't vape, so. Sailboat update? Alright, we'll do a quick sailboat update. I'm guessing it's still there. Yeah, sailboat really, nothing's really changed with the sailboat. Still here. Still in place, still here. And Apalachicola looks pretty normal today. Same thing with Shell Point. It's pretty normal. Sailboat looks the same as earlier though. Nothing's changed there. Any cameras on the coast backup? No, I mean a lot of those cameras, I think all of them probably sank. Again, you got Corey, Brandon Kopic. If you want to watch him on YouTube, you can. He's on Radar Omega too. He's going out. They're gonna go see if the cameras are still there. All three of them are going out to retrieve the cameras, so they're all going to be out there retrieving those cameras today, and you know, we'll see if they're still there. But if you guys want to know if they're still there, you can go watch Brandon Kopic if you want, and he's on YouTube. He's also on Radar Omega. They'll be retrieving them today. Should be interesting. We'll probably see quite a bit of damage too. So, yeah, I mean, getting pretty close to the coast too. Not seeing anything major in this area yet, but once they get closer to the coast, it'll probably be a completely different story. But yeah. All right, the tornado warnings again are going to continue for the next few hours. Tornado watch does continue again for another 3.5 hours. I have to eat, I have to get to class and stuff. I have to actually do stuff today. So we're going to wind down the stream. But again, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. It is the red button down below. We're 40 subscribers from 405,000. So make sure to subscribe, like the stream. Thank you to anybody that super chatted or became a member today. We are going to do a raid, so stay here. We're going to raid Storminator Media. Please make sure to go give him some love. He was live yesterday on our stream too. Make sure to go, you know, I don't know, put some max raids in the chat. Go raid DL and Storminator Media. So make sure to go check him out. And yeah, we are going to go ahead and raid him. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Thanks, guys, again, for the support over the last few days. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys all enjoyed the coverage of Hurricane Helene. And Helene's officially winding down now, even though it's still producing some major flooding and whatnot. A lot of the rain is at least starting to wind down, which is good news. All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Again, if you're in a tornado warning, just seek shelter, that sort of thing. You know what to do. And if anything does come up that's an emergency, I will try to go live, but no guarantees. But I don't think anything too crazy is going to happen from here. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys all again in the next